Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. You know what time it is today. Match reaction show. Chelsea versus Wolves. Sorry, Wolves versus Chelsea. 0-0. We're going to go through everything related to the game, how it went, our thoughts and opinions, match stats, player ratings, panel talks, lines opening, everyone getting involved, saying their things. Are Chelsea out of the title race? That's the big question mark now. Because there's many people on social media already coming out and saying that Chelsea are done. This is City's title. 6 points is, we can't do it. We just can't make it. I want to know your thoughts and opinions in the chat, guys. Make sure that you smash that like button. Over 15 of you here already. Subscribe to the channel. Let's cue that intro. Welcome back to GNA TV. Like I said, I hope you guys are well wherever it is that you may be around the world. Big up to everyone in the chat already. Over 25 of you guys here already. So make sure that we get them likes up, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're here to talk about that game. Wolves versus Chelsea. 0-0 on the day. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions. We're going to do the player ratings. We're going to talk about Chelsea's opportunities of still being able to challenge for the title. Can they do that? Can they do that with the current players that we have at the moment? Is the games going to be called off? We are going to open up the lines as well. We're going to have people probably coming in and out as we go through the show. You might see people like Johnny, Redneck, all the usual people will be hopefully coming through today as well to give their thoughts and opinions on the game. So make sure that you go and get yourself a drink, go and get yourself some snacks, come and chill. Let's talk about Chelsea's performance today. Before I do that, I need to go through this chat because there's loads of people here already. Big up to everyone. Andre says, big up, Jim. We had our ups and downs in the game, but it's hard to break the Wolves team down, man. But other than that, both sides had chances and we certainly deserve a draw. He seems to think that we deserved a draw. Did we deserve any more, guys? Could we have walked away with a win? Could we have walked away with a win? It's done. It's over. We play the relegation is what Glowbox is saying. He's done. Glowbox is saying it's done, guys. 5 points, 5+ points. It's actually 6 points from City. We're going to be looking at the table as well. Quickly have a look at some match stats along the line as well. Football style, big up to you, my guy. Hope you are well. Title race is over, is what Sir Mason Mount says. Why, bro? Why? Is 6 points still too far? 2 games, bro. It is literally 2 games. Big up to Hiking with Martin. He says, evening, everyone. Noah, big up to you as well. He says, big up, Jim. Beating Tottenham isn't for everyone. That is true. But I'm not going to lie. After watching that game, I'm slightly a little bit pissed off of how much Tottenham are bottlers, man. Big bottlers. They should have took all 3 points. They could have been 5-6-0 up against that Liverpool team. That Liverpool team looked woeful today for me. Massey B, big up. Relax. When we have a fully fit squad, we will rule the league again. And do you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you because the one thing I would say is that I don't think we can get any worse than what we currently are at the moment. What I would say is that when we do have a fully fit team, when we do have a fully fit forward line midfield, I based on what I've seen up to this point, I do think that we'll be fine moving forward. I do think, you know, we could, if provided we don't pull away too far from the top of the league, we'll still have an opportunity to react and respond. So we have to see what happens, whether the Premier League actually do what they said they might do, which is completely stop for a couple of weeks and then go again, or that if some games are going to be called on and off dependent on who the opponent is and what their crisis is, which is the situation we're having at the moment. Big up to Undertaker CFC. Good to see Liverpool get a draw. We have a chance if we win against Aston Villa, if that happens. Hiking with Martin says, title isn't over till it's mathematically impossible. Fight till the end, no surrender, never give in, is what we're hearing there. Couch Critic, big up to my guy, says, big up Jim, tough result, but we're not actually dead yet, is what Couch is saying. Yeah, it is what it is, mate. Loyola says, we don't have the creativity or energy in the final third to stay within the top 4. I hear that to a degree. We don't have the creativity. Yeah, I've read that. Where's the other one? There we go. We are not good, Gem. COVID excuse, not enough. You know what? At the beginning, we're going to talk about this now. At the beginning of the morning, when we found out, obviously, that there was 3 more players plus another individual, and then it ended up not actually being some of the individuals that people were calling over social medias. To build up to the game, I thought there's no way this can go on. You know, they're going to do another PCR test. Probably going to be some more people with it. They're surrounding each other and being with each other on a daily basis, which tells me that if people were getting it in, not even little pulse, this was like threes, and then we lost 4, then we lost 3, then another 1. I was just thinking it's just going to continue and just completely spread. But you know, when I sat there and thought about it, and then they did, then we found out that Chelsea tried to postpone the game, and Premier League said no, and we were all raging about it. What are they talking about? This is unfair. Something got sent to me, and it was apparently like the rules for every club in the Premier League in terms of any COVID outbreaks and postponements. And what it basically said is that any teams that can field or have 14 players fit in the squad have to play the game. Pretty much, they have to play. Like there's no excuse. So we had, I think, more than 14, and we could field 11, and we had 4 or 5 substitutions, if I'm right. I know they weren't great, but it's not about the quality; it's about the numbers, as they say. Jonathan Pulisic should have scored. I would probably agree with that one. Big up to Bex in the house as well. She's saying everyone was a 3 out of 10. Jen, we're not in the race anymore. We're not going to win the league. Abs, mate, you were the one banging on about it. You was the one that was saying, no, we're going to win the league. We're this, we're that. And now we're 6 points behind and you're already giving up. You're giving up on Chelsea. Has anyone actually thought about when Chelsea actually get a fully fit team back, what we're going to be like? City are in a mad run of form, and only God knows when they will next lose. Meanwhile, we struggling to score. We are leaky, and City are just too consistent. I agree that they are too consistent, but very consistent at the moment, and they won't lose many games. But the biggest, and I don't think we can win the league, but the biggest thing for me will be how quick can we get our players back before they pull away. Because if we can get our team back, if we don't play the Villa game, if we don't play the Brighton game, they get moved along and we play Liverpool at the beginning of next month, then that allows the players that have gone away for COVID to be available. So we start to look to have a fitter team. You know, so there's a lot of things that we've got to bear in mind about this whole situation. Not over just yet for me. I still don't think we can win it, but I still don't think it's over. My guy, Jem, I think we are still in the title race. I just need City and Liverpool to lose. Yeah, Liverpool should have dropped all 3 points today. That's what annoyed me, because we would have literally been up their bums. We actually would have gained the point if Tottenham would have done their job today. Tottenham fucking let us down. Sorry to trying to get everyone gassed. No league title for us. Might not win the league, but we'll still compete. People need to relax, is what we're hearing there. Evening to Simon as well. Big up to you. Over 30 of you guys here, guys. Smash the like button, please. Smash the like button. We're going to talk about every single individual player that played today. We could talk about the COVID. We're opening up the lines. We can talk about the COVID as well. Was it unfair for Chelsea to play this game? Was it unfair? Should it have been postponed? You know, should it have been postponed? I don't know. Mr. Football, why not try calling up 1 or 2 academy players to the first team at the moment, considering the ongoing situation? I'm not too sure what the scenario is with Bubbles. Because I don't know, because these youngsters are not in the so-called first team bubble. I don't know whether they're allowed to bring players in from that or something like that. That's what I'm hearing. So that could be the part of the possibility as to why it's not happened. Why not call up a striker from the youth team? Like, again, I just answered. Big up to Redneck as well. He said Abs is flip-flopping. Abs is absolutely flip-flopping like a flip-flopper. He's flopping like a flip-flop. Flip-flop till you don't stop. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, 2 seconds, guys. I'm just, what am I doing here? Just literally meant to send something to someone as well. I forgot to do it. Let me send him it. Promise him the opportunity to join as well. Right. So let's delve into things, right? Let's delve into it thick and fast. I want to quickly look at the table and what it means for Chelsea after. Well, actually, that ain't even high. Let me re-update that. That's better. That's better. Fucking hell. Liverpool run 40 points then. All right. After 18 games, this is how the top three look. Chelsea on 38 points, behind Liverpool for 3 points, 6 points behind Man City. They do have an equal goal difference. Chelsea is still on plus 27 as well. 6 points is the difference from Chelsea to Man City. 6 points is the difference from Arsenal to Chelsea. And you've seen all the gas that these lot are giving about catching us and being there and, nicking, maybe nicking third. They ain't given up, but apparently Chelsea fans are giving up. And that is the difference, people. That's the difference right there. In terms of stats, match stats, let's have a look at it, shall we? Wolves only had 36.8% possession to Chelsea 63. So again, quite a dominant performance, especially in the second half on possession. We only had a total of 8 shots all game. Now, that doesn't really surprise me when you watch out the game overall. We did really struggle to create, make the space, take shots. This is poor. All game, 1-1. We both only had 1 shot each on target. We both had 1 off target. And our passing completion rate was still very good, 87.9%. But that's, again, how we played the game. 66% tackles compared to their 60. Fouls 9 to their 5. And it was how I expected it to go. I don't know if you guys were on Twitter earlier. If you don't, you can follow me in the description below, CFC_gem. We do spaces. We've done a big space today with over 225 people in there. And we were talking about what we expect and how we think the game was going to sort of pan out. And a lot of people were saying, it's going to be a 2-3-0. This is where we bounce back, maybe even 4. And I said, I can only see this being a 1-0, one way or the other. We know Wolves were going to come very organised, be hard to break down, make things hard, and they did. And if Chelsea didn't play to a level that we know that they can play, i.e. a Juventus performance, a Leicester performance, we just knew that we wasn't going to get the 3 points. And you look at the team and the lineup that we had, the players that we had available. I had this little feeling inside me that we might have been able to just get away with a 1-0. I had it. And we were so close to doing it. And if you're going to ask me about the overall game, we will talk about the overall game now. I just want to quickly see what people were saying quickly in chat because there's so much going on. Big up to VJ. We are bottle jobs, man. This whole month plus the end of November is what Kai Juro's saying. Big up to Oluwasi. Jeremy, remember when we threw the fixtures prolonging, thought we would collect maximum points? Yeah, I know. That feels like a very long time ago now. Vinny says, is the title gone? Again, that's down to your preference. Yeah, Twitter Space, man. Twitter Spaces, they're the ones, mate, at the moment. I didn't used to do a lot of them. Never really had time for it. But recently I've been getting myself over there and sort of mixing up on over there. It's been quite interesting. But yeah, my thoughts on the overall game. Just going to quickly bring Connor in as well. My boy Connor is in. How you doing, Connor? You all right?
Yeah.
Good, mate. Good. So, look, I think it was a tale to us. When you look at what happened in the first to the second, I thought we got outplayed, overrun, lack of energy, lack of movement, lack of pretty much anything and everything that you probably don't link to Chelsea, but in recent form, you'd probably say this is how we are at the moment. We're in a bit of a rut. We're not able to really build up any real nice sort of football and stuff. And he got to the second half. He made that switch, bringing in Sound against. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I saw him coming on, I was like, what are we doing? Are we trying to throw the game away here? But he actually changed the game for me. Like, I know we slag him off quite a lot, and and he hasn't been good, and he deserves the criticism he's got. But Sound against, when he did come on the pitch, he controlled the game. Yeah, everything that Jorginho does, which is just pick the ball up and keep the ball ticking left to right, forwards, but he was doing that, and we then gained control of the game again. And yes, we had a lot of the ball and we was in control, but we never really created a lot in front of goal. And yes, we can look at our forward line and maybe say that Pulisic, who I think has been heavily criticised, is not a number 9, and maybe we're asking too much of him. Mason Mount for me wasn't great today. If you want my honest opinion, I know Johnny's going to come in soon as well, so he's going to disagree with that completely. But I don't think he had the greatest Mason Mount game. Hakim Ziyech was anonymous, poor, that didn't even know he was on the pitch. Look, we're going to go through the player ratings anyway. That's something we're going to do. But my overall thoughts on the game is that if we're going to base it on the overall picture and what was the fair result, then I would say how it finished was the fair result. We could have maybe nicked it with Pulisic, but we didn't. We didn't create enough. Only having one shot on target is not good enough. One shot on target in 8 shots overall is not good enough. They only had one shot themselves at goal. I mean, before we go into player ratings, Connor, tell me, bro, like, what was your thoughts on that?
Bro, that was the most painful game to watch when you see players that are of a quality, but for some reason or another, they're just not at that level that you know they can be at. I mean, granted, we have to be realistic here and to take into consideration, because we had 14 men and we had to get because the Premier League forced us to play our third string goalkeeper, which was the last spot on a 14-man roster. We got denied for not playing the game, and because there's 2 players, Havertz and someone else, their tests weren't negative or positive yet. Either way, these aren't excuses. I don't know what it is. It could be a culmination of that. It could be injuries. It could be everything. They just weren't playing to their level. Aside from Conte, I think Conte was the only one, and Thiago Silva played well. But it's just so frustrating to see people, the team that was here before when the season started, right? Whenever they have their form, they're banging in goals, they've got clean sheets. People digging deep into the roster, right? Our depth. Third string coming in, carrying out the coach's plan perfectly. Chalobah coming in, debut banging in a goal. People going all the way down. Ruben Loftus-Cheek breaking into the squad, making appearances and performing. And then that Chelsea that we were at the beginning of the season, those first 8 games, to now, for whatever reason, whether it's bad form, COVID, injuries, whatever, we are just not that same Chelsea. But the players are still there, and they all have that quality. So much quality. Pulisic quality, Mount quality, Kovacic, Conte, Thiago Silva, Rudiger. I mean, Reece James. Like, granted, we have to take risks with playing, Alonso at left wing back, and bringing Sal Niguez on, and Ruben kind of form dwindled out a little bit, and it is what it is. But it's just like whatever happened between that beginning 8 games to now is culminating, and it's frustrating to see because you know how good they are. But the whole game was frustrating. Second half was better than the first half. I think the only real good players were Conte and Thiago Silva, real standout players. I mean, Pulisic missing a gilt-edged chance sucks. I mean, and then another thing too is Chalobah was forced to play in that midfield role. And it's not that he played bad. You could just tell that there were areas off the ball and spacing for like interceptions and to be in spaces to close down. He wasn't. And so they had a lot of progression through the midfield. But then again, they had 3 in the midfield, and then Tuchel changed it to bring Kovacic in there, and we dominated the game. And that's like the thing is we play these games where, granted, in the beginning we didn't dominate, but when we do make these changes, and just in like games where we have dominated before from the beginning that we don't win, they suck. They're frustrating. So that's how I feel, frustrated.
Yeah, I hear you. We've got Minerals in the house as well. Big up to Minerals. How we doing, bro?
How we doing, Jim? How we doing, Connor? All good, yeah?
Yeah, all good, bro. We're gonna do the player ratings next, but I want to just get your overall thoughts on the game, Johnny. Like, where did it go wrong today? Do you think 0-0 was the fair result? I mean, I seem to think it was based on the tale of both halves. I mean, what was your thoughts?
Well, I think the first half was really poor. Luckily, we got away with the VAR decision. Well, it's not lucky; it was the right decision. I felt like the balance in the middle of the park with Chalobah didn't really work. The problem was that they were so good defensively throughout the whole game, to be honest. But first half, they were defensively sound, very compact. They were happy for Alonso, Asby to have the ball all day long. And all they wanted was us to cross the ball in, which is all we could do. But then you got a 5'4" Pulisic in the middle. And
he got a lot of criticism, by the way, as well, didn't he? Really, he got a lot of criticism on social media.
Do you know what? Like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm pretty pissed off with the result. I was a lot angrier earlier. I've calmed down a bit now, and I've sort of reflected on it all. But second half definitely was a huge improvement. I was waiting for Minerals to be landed. I wanted to see fight. I wanted to see the players work and make something happen and put them under the cosh, and we did do that. And I think there's two key moments in that game where we were on top of possession, we had possession for a long period, and we had the game under control. We didn't create or have one shot, not one, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I agree. But
Then
again, do you think that was just again the lack of options with the forward line, or do you just think the forward line just wasn't good enough?
I think it's a bit of both. I think for me, Ziyech and Pulisic were so off it. It was ridiculous, like so off it. I think Mount. It's very hard for Mount. You know, you can scapegoat him and say, "Oh, he was just." He was nowhere near as bad as them two. And I would say this: Mount worked
We're going to talk about
unbelievably
players. Don't
hard,
worry,
bro.
Johnny. We'll get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
we'll get into
We'll
it.
get to
But
the
but
players.
in a
Yeah.
nutshell, I think the two key moments was the Pulisic chance where he missed. Basically, should have really, I reckon, finished that off. It was a game of a one shot kill moment. I think it was a game where you're going to create one chance, and then no one's really talked about it. But that was a penalty on Kante in the box.
Well, I didn't actually see it until you actually put it back up on social media, and I saw
Yeah,
obviously the connection when you obviously paused it at that moment. But where it happened so quick, I don't think that would have been given because they both kind of went for the ball, and he obviously got there first. But he studs her up. Granted, he studs her up, but I think it would have still been very harsh based on it. To be honest, based on just them
I
getting
feel
the lack of that.
like if you strike the ball, regardless, if you're after the ball and you're studying a player in the box, if that was outside the box, you're giving that as a free kick, aren't you? You're giving it as a free kick.
Potentially,
And I think if it's in the box, you know, why not? Why is it any different? So for me, that's a questionable decision.
yeah.
And I think if we got a penalty, we win the game. I think Pulisic scores, we win the game. It's as simple
Yeah,
as that. And
yeah.
there are positives. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of positives from this game. A lot.
I mean, Sound Gibbs was a bit of a positive. We'll talk about it anyway. Actually,
Well,
in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Johnny, what do
um,
you think about this? At halftime,
yeah,
oh, it was begging. It was in my mind. I would have loved to have seen Mount go into that central role because I think that Mount is a better finisher than Pulisic is. And I think that Pulisic has a better time running that left-hand channel and
I
Yeah,
maybe
think
yeah.
making
Pulisic is
up
more
for Alonso's
direct.
pace. And then
Yeah,
Yeah.
also, too, when Mount gets put in that central role, you know he likes to dip deep. Whereas I feel
Yeah,
like for some reason
yeah.
Pulisic wants to hug the center back, which is 5 times larger than him, which doesn't make sense. I thought that he would
yeah,
drift a bit more,
I
which he
did.
started to do.
Yeah, I did
But
tweet this. I tweeted this during the game. I said, I think it was even in the first half. I tweeted that we're better off playing Mount in the false nine and put Pulisic on the right. If you noticed in the second half, Mount did drop in there in
yeah,
periods, and he loves to hang on the last man on the shoulder, and he actually made some fantastic runs, but no one had the ability to take the
play him.
risk and play
Mm,
him in,
mm,
and he does get into those pockets, but no one was finding him. And when and then it's a reverse role when he's in the position and he's got the ball. It's very hard for him to play, you know, play a great assist if your teammates are not in the right positions.
I agree.
And Pulisic wasn't in the right positions. Ziyech wasn't in the right positions, and you're relying on sort of your James and Alonso who are not going to cut inside because you run the risk because the defence so well. If you do cut inside, we could get caught on the counter, especially when Traore came on. So
Yeah, I
it was
mean,
a very tactical game, and I think Tuchel has done exceptional in this period. I
well,
don't think
Johnny.
any other manager would have done what he's done.
Well, this is this.
We wouldn't be
Yeah,
where we are with another manager, and I don't even think Pep or Klopp would have the minerals to. If they had as many injuries and many COVID cases as we've had in the last sort of 2-3 games, I don't think they may get similar points, but I don't think they're better in it. No chance.
yeah. Well, this is what I was about to say. When you think about before we quickly go into player ratings, where we are still at the moment. All right, we lost the top spot. We're 3 points behind Liverpool, and we're 6 points behind the Man City team that have won their last. I think it's 8 games in a row now.
Mm.
So all right. Granted, we might still have to play Villa and Brighton. I don't know if that's going to happen with everything going on at Villa. This whole break, which I think may happen now, going over because we're coming to Christmas as well, and maybe getting the boys that are away for COVID back in before the end of this month.
Yeah.
could be the complete difference to us actually revitalising our season. Kovacic
I think saves our season.
Kante's back. It does massively. So that's why, even though I still don't think we can win the leagues, I do think Man City will be more consistent throughout the season. I do think we still have the opportunity to really have a go at it. But Edouard Mendy, guys, we'll keep it really short and sweet because I don't think he had much to do. We can move on. I thought he was okay. He was dominating his area from corners, came out quite well, made a save or two. But overall, I'd say he was probably a 5
He
or
saved
6.
that header.
Yeah, he saved the header, actually. That was quite a good save, actually. I forgot about that. So, yeah, I'd probably give him a 6 for that save. But other than that, there's not much really saved for him, is there?
No.
Well, he did his job, and he was. I mean, I think, he's a 7 or an 8. I mean, he's done his job.
And he came off his line a lot more too. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's about 3 or 4 times he had to come off his line because we were trying to get so many people down there to give options. And there's a few times where he came off and it looked like he'd be afraid, but he was smart and he just cleared it.
What I liked with him today, actually, I felt like there was a little bit more urgency with him releasing the ball, and he done it a bit quicker, and he got a clean sheet. So I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on because there's a lot more other people that we need to talk about. Antonio Rudiger. We'll go with you, Connor, first. What was your thoughts on his performance today?
I mean, classic Tony Rudiger performance, right? Held it down on the left-hand side. I think that what people have to understand is there's a lot of making up that Rudiger normally doesn't have to do with Chilwell on his left that he has to do with Alonso on his left. So there's a lot of times that when people say, oh, Rudiger doesn't look himself, he's not making those bum runs forward. He's not, he's not trying to drive the ball into the midfield or anything like that. He has a lot of space to care for, especially on a counterattacking team. He's got all those players up forward, especially Traore, running up the midfield or trying to get on a break. I mean, at that point when he comes on the field on all of our set pieces, somebody like Thiago Silva or Rudiger has to be back to counter that. So I would give him a 7, 7.2 or something like that. He's kind of tied down in the position that we're in. And that's how one person being out can affect the whole chemistry. He can't go make those runs or be impactful like he wants to, even though he did it in the game where we pulled out a win and he got those penalties. But today he just looked like he had more responsibilities than normal. So I'd give him a good 7, 7.2, 7.3.
Yeah, what are you saying, Minerals? What do you think?
I don't know. I think he was. Well, it's hard. It's hard to be critical on him because there's a lot worse players. But for me, it wasn't. It hasn't been a performance from Rudiger that we've seen this season. Put it that way. So I'll probably give him like a 6.5.
Do you think the contract is slightly getting to him?
I think it's getting to everyone.
No.
I think.
Well,
I think it is.
I think it is.
No,
I 100% think it is. I'd bet a liver on it. I'd bet an organ.
What do you mean getting to him? What do you mean by that?
This is building up. Like Christensen's missing games. Like he's in a place where he knows that the coach loves him, the club, some maybe not all of it, cares for him and they value him as a player now in the system. And he has progressed to the player that he is under this coach in the system. And he's being left with the internal decision to either leave because it's my last in my prime contract for big money, or do I stay here where I have so much invested in me and they have so much invested in me. I have so much invested back in it. And this system and this coach have made me who I am. Another German manager. I mean, he's tied into this place, whether you may like it or not. And so whenever people say, whenever the media was pushing this narrative, especially Chelsea social media, they're like, "Oh, he's not effective," and they keep putting out these interviews and these articles about how he's not affected and he's just fine. I'm not saying that it's affecting him in a massive way, but it is affecting him. It is on his mind.
I think he has played. We don't have any cover for him, and he does play most of the games that we play him in. And I'm starting to see a bit of a tired Rudiger. He's not even getting back into position. Sometimes I was watching him today. He was just jogging back. He was like he's got so far forward he couldn't get back to cover. And if it wasn't for Thiago Silva today, who I keep saying it, he's world class. We're going to get to him next. I think we could have been punished a lot more than maybe our eyes would have shown today, because I think Thiago Silva done a lot of the defensive work at the back more than the other two today. I just think Rudiger had an average performance. I'll probably say a 5.5. I don't think he was amazing whatsoever. Yeah, again, I don't think it was his worst performance. He's still done what he needs to do, but I agree with Johnny. I don't think it was anything, out of the ordinary. But one guy I thought was world class again today, and even when we have been bad, for me, he's just. I know, I know Johnny likes to say Mason Mount's the glue, but for me, this guy is the glue for me. I think
this guy's the glue at the back.
He's just the glue for everything. His leadership qualities, experience, the way he makes players that are 10 times quicker than him look average, and his positional sense is just out of this world. The calmness of his game, everything. I mean, Johnny, let's go to you first. Thiago Silva, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, he was exceptional. There's a lot of moments in that game where I think the one I remember the most, which I was like, that's just class, was when he let the ball bounce on the last mat on their front with their forward, and he was the last defender, and he managed to get to head the ball. Now most defenders would head it back to the keeper, and he actually back-headed it perfectly to Rudiger.
Yeah,
and it's moments like that where if you header it back to your goalie, the players are still running in that direction to press the goalie, and you can force errors and other players aren't prepared. But Thiago Silva just cut that all out. He had no nonsense. He just said, right, I'm going to flick it in the opposite direction, and then by then all the Wolves players are already past that point, and we can continue an attack. So he did a lot of things like that during the game, which were, he's world class. I think to be honest with you, I'll say it now. I think at 37 years old, he is the best in the world right now. I don't think you can put Van Dijk, Diaz, and all these other defenders. He's above them all. I don't think they're as good as Thiago Silva. And you got to imagine this, right? He's playing in a fogged Wolves away, shit weather, shit conditions.
It was shit weather, wasn't it?
It was really tough to play in that ground, and it was nothing for him. He's Brazilian.
He made it look like a walk in the park, didn't he?
Yeah, he was class, man. So
think about his experience. Like, think about how many games this guy's logged in at center back. Like, he's been doing that almost as long as I've been a little kid. Like,
I'm going to give him a 9.
Don't say this. 9, yeah? You're going for a
9? Yeah,
I'm
going to give him a 9.
This guy just say we need a forced Tuchel out? What the
it's over 102 people here already. Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well to GNA TV. I mean, I don't listen to comments like that, man.
Football equals life. I need that guy's plug number. I need what he's smoking, bro.
Exactly. God dang. Connor, what are you thinking about the El Monstro?
Bro, I mean, we should just go ahead and go next because this guy was just top class. I mean, Johnny said it the best. I mean, there are times where like I'm stressed about the game. And I could name a point of I think Conte was man of the match, unfortunately, over him just slightly. But there are points of the game where when Thiago's on the ball, you get comfortable. But I'm past that. I just like to watch him because I play CDM and center back, and he's just the way he's always thinking 3, 2, 4 steps ahead and just knows what he's gonna do. It's so impressive, and I think that having this guy in a squad, even if he doesn't start, like say we bring in a couple new, whoever leaves, and we get new, young center backs in, having this knowledge to train with every day is just invaluable. He's such a good player.
He is, and for me, I keep saying it. There's only one of 2 world-class players that we have in our team, actual world-class. I'm talking about him and Kante, but for me, he was a 9. I just think he's that. All right, we didn't win the game, and you could argue that if we won the game, he'd probably be more, but from his perspective and what he was asked to do, and for me, carried the back, especially in certain moments of the game where I was like, we're going to be in a bit of trouble here, and he just dealt with it so well. I'd say he was a strong.
He had the most touches in the game, 130 touches, and he had the best pass accuracy, 95.9%.
Is he past it, Johnny Aspie? Is he just not the same anymore? I don't know. I don't feel like he's
with Aspie. I was fucking hell, man. Really frustrated with Dave. Really frustrated with the geezer. I love him. I absolutely love him. But in this game, there was fucking decisions he made that were just
passing
so poor. And every time in the first half, he kept moaning, there's no one ahead. It wasn't that there was no one ahead. It's just he didn't want to make the pass. Yeah. And I just feel like he holds the ball too long. He doesn't release it. He crosses it when he's not meant to cross it. And he did so many crosses in this second half, and I was fucking going nuts because I'm like, why are you crossing it? We got a Pulisic who's 5'4" in the fucking box. Why? Why would you
in
cross
the middle
it?
of 3 center backs, bro?
Yeah,
we done
why?
that all the first half. You know that we kept hoofing out the pitch. I was going mad.
Hey,
So-
Johnny, can I ask you a question? I'm sorry to cut you off. I thought this shit was hilarious. So whenever you have the false 9 back on set pieces, they're supposed to be in the mix of that 3 center back set piece defensively. And looking at they do that stack. The Wolves do the stack where it's like 4 of them in a row. And seeing little Christian Pulisic like with his arms on him, like trying to like get in the mix on the defensive set piece. I'm like, what's this guy doing, bro? Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah.
But it was just, I think intensity's gone a bit. I didn't feel like his leadership was there as a captain. I think we're seeing a burnt out Asby, bruv.
We're just seeing a decline. You know, like what we saw from Ivanovic.
Decline plus a burnout.
I just don't think he can play in that in this system. I think he's better as a back 4 where he doesn't have to push up so much. I think once he has to push up so much, he requires such stamina and intensity.
He doesn't have to track back so much.
Yeah, I'll give Asby a 4 in this game.
4.
Yeah.
Style saying 3. 5 from Undertaker CFC. 5 from Clements. 6.
I'll give him a 4, bruv.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet before we go to Connor. I just thought he was wasteful, very slow with the ball. He drives me mad when he tries to cross from the byline. I just know it's not going anywhere half the time. It's just like, he's not. When I think of Aspie at his best, it's always about his positional sense. Just having consistent performances at a level where you just knew that position was going to be okay because Aspie was there. We're not getting that anymore because. Maybe you're right. He's burnt out. Maybe it's just an Ivanovic moment. He's just starting to decline a bit. Maybe we do need to start looking forward. And maybe why Chelsea are letting him go to Barcelona is probably because he feels that maybe the same and they feel that that's the same as well. Like maybe it's time for him to just kick on. But Connor.
Yeah, I'll make it short and sweet. I'll have to give him a 5. But it's super weird because a lot of times in our UCL campaign in last season that he was ever in there for right back, or even right wing back, we wouldn't. He actually started in the UCL. The final against Man City, and it's just like I'm like sitting here thinking like he would use his positional, like his intelligence and his experience to kind of, he didn't need the pace because he was like Thiago Silva. He could be he knew where the ball was going to go or where it was going to be. But I don't know. You're right. It seems like I don't know if he's burnt out or tired, or maybe they were like, hey, we're bringing in Jules Koundé. We shouldn't really need you, next season except for as a rotational player when they extended his contract. It's like they never got Jules.
I think he suffered from not having a Jorginho there, because what Asby, instead of Asby having to look right all the time and up the byline, he would have the option of either Jorginho or the byline. But in this case, Trevor wasn't in the right positions to play the ball. So his only option was to go down the right, and then he'd go, I can't play it down there, so I've got to go back to Silva. Yeah. So it's not entirely Asby's fault. I think a 4's harsh, actually. But it's not entirely his fault. There are reasons for the way he played.
I don't think it's just not the same level for me. But we'll quickly talk Chalobah because he did come off quickly as well. We can only rate him on what we saw him, and he was asked to play in that sort of central role. I mean, from my perspective, I keep it short and sweet. He done some little good things here and there in the first, but overall, I don't think it really worked. It might be that he's just come back and he's not in his natural position. I know we keep trying to test people in different positions, but
we have to.
I just think we had more control, and we'll talk about him again in a bit. But Sal Niguez come on, and we just look more comfortable with the ball. And in that position, we need someone that can actually hold the ball and control it and just play the ball around and stuff, a bit like what Jorginho does. And I don't think Chalobah did that a lot of the times.
He didn't get in the right. That's why Jorginho's so good, and I keep saying this is when you're surrounded by opposition players. Jorginho has a knack for getting into the perfect position to always receive the ball. Yeah. And when I watched Chalobah in the first half, you could tell he was lost. He was getting near the areas, but he wasn't getting in the area. So every time he actually got into the area, it was too late, and the ball's gone the other way, and he has to change position again. And it's just someone who understands that position, and he doesn't. And I don't think he can play there. I don't think he's.
Not even as like a holding DM. No, I don't
No,
know. Maybe
no,
say enough
no.
for
I
him,
don't think he
but
can. I don't think he can. I it's still
what would
early days because he's young,
you-
but
yeah.
I think where he plays in his right centre back role, I think that's the position for him. I think that's where he's strongest. So
People are
I
giving him 5s and that, so I'd probably say
uh,
5. Yeah.
yeah, 4.5, 5, yeah, 5.
Connor, short one on this one.
Yeah, 5. I mean, obviously, we could tell he wasn't supposed to be there, but it's feel like he didn't have a choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have to give him a 5. I don't want to hold him against him because he plays what he was brought into the squad to do very well. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about Alonso because again,
Oh,
I don't really know what to say about this guy anymore. I've said it. I do a lot of talking about Alonso on here and his performances. I don't think there's much more to say about him as a player, but I'll let Connor go. Connor.
dude, it was
Alonso.
so bad. I'm talking. This man's getting twisted. Like it's so weird because it's like he doesn't have any consistent effort throughout the left-hand side. Like when he's bumming forward, he will fight, he will cut in, he will do everything he can to try to keep the ball in or whatever. Even if it doesn't come to an end, he still shows a level of effort. But you'd think with being like 30 plus years old that playing in that role or wherever, yeah, he would have some sort of understanding, kind of like Aspie does, of the defensive side of things on the left side, and he just doesn't. He gets turned. And there's like simple things that are scary. That goal, I mean, that when we were talking about Mendy and he caught that header from whoever it was, I can't remember. That was Alonso. If you watch the replay, that's his man. And he thinks that he's like, man, I don't know. I honestly don't have an explanation for it. In that replay, Alonso just stops marking his man and just stops. And then it was funny. I was watching a watch along and the guy was like, has Alonso signed a contract with Wolves? Is this what's going on? It's like, he just stopped marking him in the middle of running into the box, and the guy got a free header. Luckily, Mendy saved it because that could have been 1-0. So I'd have to say like a negative 4.
There was a moment where, I'm not lying, the opposition, I don't know, it was playing at the right back. He was chasing the ball, and he was miles away from the ball and Alonso. And Alonso was closer to the ball. And he just ran down the wing, and Alonso had to slide to try and keep it on. And this guy caught up with the ball. I don't know if you remember it. It was so bad.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Hofer.
do.
It was Hofer.
Yeah.
Hofer had this man in a spliff all game.
Mate, it was. I knew he was slow, but until I actually saw that moment, I didn't realise how slow it was, Johnny, wasn't it? How slow and bad is Alonso?
Well, if the thing with Alonso is if he's not in his exact right position throughout the game, he's the one that gets caught out because he's got no pace, no legs. And I think he should go back to Serie A. I think that will suit him, a slower pace league where he can do his Alonso thing, yeah. But yeah, there was moments in that game that because he hasn't got like great technical ability in dribbling and just even holding the ball, his touch was off all the time. And every time he did get out in attacking positions, his only option is to cross it in, and you probably win a corner, or you have to cut back and recycle. He hasn't got the ability to take on a man. And Ziyech, nowhere to be seen with Alonso. So when Alonso is in a position, he looks for Ziyech, and he's not there. And then you have to rely on whoever's playing DM role. That's why Tuchel brought on Kovacic for a Ziyech, because Ziyech was fucking nowhere. Houdini himself, bruv. But Alonso struggles. Alonso did struggle. I'll give him a 4 like Dave. Same, equal 4.
Mate, I just think he's a burden. I've said it for so long. This system does not play to the level that we need it to play.
I know, Jem, but you got to understand with Alonso, like I explained with Aspie, how Aspie suffered. Alonso suffered the same, but with Alonso, you see the exposure more. He gets done in 5K, that geezer, whereas Aspie gets away with it a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does, but he's not the same. He's not as bad. Aspie's not as bad as Alonso for me.
But
Alonso's just.
You know what's crazy, guys? I think it's crazy because I actually fall blame to this as well. We actually were going into this season with Alonso and Aspi as our fullback backups, and we were like, yeah, we'll be all right. Like it did not like when we're talking about midfielders, which we do need one more. Well, I mean, we have midfielders that are performing on loan that'll get probably be in the squad next season, and we're worried about a striker. This system is so integral with fullbacks, and we have Marcus Alonso at 30 and Cesar Azpilicueta as our second man in both those positions. We were like, nobody batted an eye.
It's painful, bro.
We were going to win the league, and it's like
Alonso should pack up his bags and leave the club in January transfer window, and Chelsea board should be serious. Look, I'll tell you this, and I'll say it once before we move on. Chelsea go and sign anyone in January or a position in January, it's that position right there, and it needs to be a player like a Digne from Everton.
Yeah, everybody's saying Digne from Everton, man. He's 28, right?
He's 28. He's Premier League proven, offensively good enough to go forwards and backwards.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, but he's not a dribbler, and I don't think he's got bags of pace.
Yeah,
I think he's just a utility player.
Yeah, no, but he will do a job. He will definitely do a job in this position. Trust me. In this system,
I would rather have somebody more defensively sound and not be able to get forward than someone like Alonso, who's the reverse.
No. We need someone that can do what Reece James does on the other side, like what Chilwell did, which means, when you watch us play the last couple of games, right? We never go down the left. We always go down the right. We are not confident enough to go and ping it to the left and give it to Alonso for him to try and do something. It always goes. We're predictable. That's it. I've been watching this the last couple of games. We are so predictable in the way that we play because we know in ourselves we can't rely on Alonso.
That's a whole other conversation.
Right. But anyway, we'll move from this because it just.
I'm rating Alonso the same as his jersey number.
Yeah, it drives me mad, mate. Proper pisses me off. All right, let's talk about N'Golo Kante, Johnny, because my gosh, I think we both said it in the space where we said and half fit N'Golo Kante.
Yeah,
probably still world class.
Yeah, he was. I tell you, with N'Golo Kante, right? He's so levels above anyone he plays.
Yeah.
Our position, I mean, he's so intelligent in his positional play and he's got pace, even for the age he's at. And he just does not stop running, the geezer. And the thing is, when he gets the ball, he's actually really good in breaking the lines and attacking forward. And not only breaking up the play, but in the second half, he was used as, like, for me, he was the decoy in our team. So he was pushed up on the left or the right back. What he'd do is he'd get in between the lines of Wolves, so that they have to actually keep an eye on him. And because they're too busy defending, keeping their two planks of wood, Kante gets in the middle while you've got the extra wing backs and width. And that allows us to attack how we did down the wide, because they were focused on Kante, and Kante would receive the ball, and then you start an attack. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was clever. But in my opinion, why the fuck are you not using Mason Mount doing that? Because he'd be perfect for it. He would be perfect for it. And you can drop Kante in a bit deeper and have him progress. But for me, Kante, he's not human, bruv. He really ain't. He's just a special player. Really special player. I'll give him an 8, I think, for me. An 8.5, 8.
I would say that him and Thiago Silva could have literally held one side. One person could have held one side of the man of the match side, and the other guy could have both just walked off together with it, is what I'm trying to say. They were that good for me. They were just the bollocks. I mean, Connor, it just showed you how much that the levels of our midfield when we've missed N'Golo Kante for as long as we have, for him to just come in and start a game. Bearing in mind this was his first game since October, and play like that.
Yeah, I think the craziest thing for me with Kante is you'll see him, like Johnny says. Well, there's two things that I want to point out. One, Kante has the ability to receive the ball, and you'll see him like scan back and like see where the challenge is coming from, and he'll just tap in a left or right direction. And he's so fast. And I guess because he's so like the low center of gravity, I'm trying to think about it as a player. Yeah. I'm just like he will nudge it to the right, and he will break past 2 or 3 players, and it's crazy.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, and you know what the crazy part is like whenever you see Aspi bump forward or Reece James bump forward, you're always worried about them getting back to cover their position. And I swear Kante had about 4 or 5 like ball recoveries,
Oh,
so.
Shit, man! I've got over 150 people here. Over 150 people here, and the first thing they say is, I can't wait for Johnny's reaction to Mason Mount. Fucking hell. Anyway, guys, I agree. I agree. We're getting close to Mason Mount anyway, guys. I'm sure that'll be a lengthy discussion. It's just going to go mad. I can see it. The chat's about to be on fire. But listen, I think N'Golo Kante was an 8.5, 9, whatever you want to give the guy. He was as good as Thiago Silva. For me, again, the only world-class player other than Thiago Silva in our team, who, when he's fit, should really play. He's that good. He's that good, and he's irreplaceable for me. So I would give him an 8, 8.5, 9, whatever you want to give the guy. I am happy with on that one. But I want to talk about someone that has got a lot of criticism, and he, for me, came on, actually had his best game in a Chelsea shirt. He actually, for me, changed the game. He actually changed the game for me in the role that he played, and he looked better. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Johnny, Saul Niguez.
Well, I'll tell you why he played well, because that's actually his position. Firstly, so all the other players that don't play his position are going to look shit compared to him, aren't they?
And he's next to Conte.
He's next to Conte. But let's be real about it. All right. The only reason Saul looked good in this game is because no one fucking pressed him, bruv. The moment the guy gets pressed, it's like you might as well just pass to him and give him the ball because he loses it. Now, when he did get the ball, there were moments in the game where he had the ability to play that forward ball and attack, and instead he was so. I think he's so nervous and had such a tough time that he just doesn't want to give the ball away. So he ends up playing it safe back, which in a way was okay, but in the way we play, in the positions our players were, that sets us back in our attack. So then all the players that are pushed forward have to sort of cut back in again, drop in to then start an attack. So there was some frustrating moments with Saul. He did all right. Like I said, it's his sort of position. So I kind of expect him to do what he did. And it did help us, don't get me wrong. But you just see the levels of Kovacic and Georgina fucking levels above. Even Billy Gilmore's levels, bruv. Billy Gilmore's levels above this kid.
Billy, do you know what? I agree.
He is.
Billy Gilmore should be in this.
I don't know why we don't recall him.
We can't.
We can't anyway. But it's another story for another day. But Connor, Saul Niguez, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like there's
six.
Yeah. We have a problem in the midfield, man, and like I don't want to sit here and like say he looked better because he's playing next to Conte and he wasn't. Like in the beginning when they were slightly pressing, I don't want to know what would have happened if he'd have been there, but I don't know. It's like what Johnny said. Like he's afraid of getting ridiculed again or getting a bad rating, so he doesn't want to play that forward ball. And he played one that was I think it was like Ziyech right before he came off or something like that, or it might have even been to Mount or Alonso, but overshot it, and then he had like 2 or 3 passes that were undercooked and like went to the opposition. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, he changed the game, but it's because Chalobah doesn't play in the midfield, and he looked better because he wasn't pressed and he's next to Conte. So I have to give him like a 6.
Fair enough. Yeah, I agree. 6. I thought he had his best performance in a Chelsea shirt. It might be what Johnny said. He wasn't really pressed, but he at least he was progressive. He's getting the ball and looking forward and trying to be quick, and that's what I want to see. And if he can continue doing that.
Well, he didn't take any shots, but he's known for the shot taker. And I feel like when they're sitting in that low block and he receives the ball in a bit of space, I just would have loved anybody, and especially a said player will be getting too layered, to take any sort of shot on goal.
Mateo Kovacic, Johnny. I mean, he came on. He bought some minerals, didn't he, with him a little bit? What are you saying?
No, he did. He almost fucking gave the ball away in our box. I'll tell you that for starters. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what he was doing dribbling across the penalty spot. That was a bit of a mad one for me.
He loves to do that shit.
Yeah, but that's not when you've just come back from not playing like 10 games. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't be doing that after COVID. So for me, he was all right. But he was only, let's have it right, he was only brought on because Ziyech was fucking awful. And he was filling in the Ziyech role and to support Alonso because Alonso was getting done out there. You know what I'm saying? He was getting done in the fog. So Kovacic, he done all right. He done all right. He was, he showed his. I think it's just his natural ability got him through the game.
Yeah,
because he's
not. Done some of them darting runs, didn't he? We know where he gets the ball and run through the middle.
But you could tell he's off it because there was moments where you think, oh fuck, he's going to lose the ball and then they're going to hit us. So it was a bit of a risk taker. I like that though. I like that he took the risk. So for me, I think he did come on and he did help us in possession wise. You can't lie about that.
Yeah.
So I
We
think
knew
he
that
done
anyway.
as well as he did as well as Sol for me.
Do you know what? I forgot about how foggy was it? I couldn't even see the ball half the times when they were playing.
You got to bear in mind the weather conditions.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Right, it leaves us. Well, actually, go on, Connor. Sorry, Kovacic. What do you think, my man?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was better than Saul, to be fair. He's definitely can dribble. Like, what Saul can't do is he can't move forward up the pitch by taking on a player. He either has to, like, spread the ball around the sides, like, out wide, or try and run out wide and do some sort of 1-2 combination. Whereas Kovacic, you can count on to turn and beat a man or two at best. I mean, he didn't look fully fit, so I mean, we didn't see the best of him. But I'd give him a 6.5 or a 7. I'd rate him higher than Saul, to be fair. I trust him more dribbling through the box than I would Saul. Imagine if Saul did that. So, I mean, I think this honestly was a good game for him to come back and get his feet wet, to be fair, and to dribble the ball around in our box.
Tuchel's a fraud and being exposed week in, week out. Come on, man. What silly comments like that, guys? Come on.
Don't be silly, fella.
Yeah.
He's smoking.
We do have him. Right, yeah, I'm going to say the same, really. I think he was a 6. He came on, gave us... So you could just see the quality. Can you imagine when... I mean, forget Kante, because he doesn't need to be fit to start, because he's proven it. But you imagine when Kovacic is back to that level where he is fit and he can get around, he's a bit lighter on his feet. Because the one thing I would say...
a 6, man? A 6?
Yeah, I'd give him a 6.
Yeah, I gave him the same as Sol. Only because of that dodgy maneuver in the in the 85th minute or whatever it was. That really had my heart.
He does
gave me cardiac arrest, bruv. No, he don't do that. He don't do that. No. He can do it in the middle of the park. Don't be doing it on the penalty area. He was running like Roadrunner, bruv.
So
do you know what I'm saying?
We have one. We have one. Obviously, we have the Mason Mount protector here, and we have the Christian Pulisic protector here. So I'm going to save them two last and go to.
Well, I'm a realist. I'm not a high.
You're a Pulisic hard man. Just take it. Just lane it and just embrace it. We're going to go on to Ziyech first, anyway. Johnny, you already said you thought Ziyech was crap.
Yeah.
Why was he so bad?
Do you know what it is?
I'll
tell you what it is with Ziyech, right? There was a lot of moments, especially in the first half, and then it happened more in the second half. When you want your player to hold the damn ball, bruv, just hold the ball, all right? And he just gives it away. He's so weak. They outmuscled him, and he gave it away. And it's like he went before the game. Instead of having his boots cleaned, he went and got fucking floor of butter, bruv, and literally put butter all over his football boots. Every time it went to him, it just flung off him. It was so poor, man. And I'm so frustrated with Ziyech. We know he's got quality. We know he's a lovely, talented footballer. But I ain't seeing it in a blue shirt. I'm just not seeing it. And I don't think he cuts the mustard at Chelsea. I really don't. I think he's going to be sold. I just don't think this league is for him. I don't think this team is for him. I don't think Tuchel rates him. I don't think he plays if we had Kai Havertz or if Timo Werner available. He doesn't get in the side. And I don't even think he gets in over Cho. I think Cho's way ahead of him. So for me, how can I say, there's so many negatives aside to positives with Ziyech. Like, he does do some nice things and he does hold the ball, but he doesn't make anything happen. He's meant to be this magician, bruv. The only thing I see him with magic is making himself disappear in games, and that's it. He's so inconsistent. I'm just tired of it, and I don't. It's not Tuchel's fault because he hasn't really got any other options. But I think for him to bring on Kovacic tells you everything you need to know. Why? Because Kovacic is not a front three player, but he basically did a like-for-like change and played Kovacic in that role. And that says everything you need to know about Ziyech's performance. He was terrible. I'll give him a 4.
I did forget Reece James. We'll get to him next before we go on to the two players that you're waiting to hear: Mason Mount and Christian Pulisic. We've got Redneck here as well. Redneck, how you doing, my brother? You all right?
I'm alright. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're not bad, mate. We're just going through. We're up to the forward line now. Just going to quickly go to Connor quickly. ZH Connor, what are you saying?
Yeah, it's rough, man. Like if you look at his old Ajax games, and it's crazy. Like if you watch his old games at Ajax, you see him like drifting in so deep, even though he's a winger, and picking the ball up and switching the field, pinging it across, and it's like somehow he like has an ability, which I feel like is harder to do with so little people up front, being the formation we play. He has the ability to just not exist. And it's just wild. Like I'm trying to think of moments, like standout moments. Like even in the previous game we played, he's like pinging the ball, doing turns. He's like making it, performing decent, taking shots, which I feel like we should have done from outside the box. When they're sitting in a low block, and it's just like I really cannot remember like a single. To be fair, almost a single thing. And seems like he just sometimes can go missing in games if like it's too. I feel like against more like physical opposition. But yeah, man, it's weird because he has that talent. Like Johnny says, we've seen his games at Ajax, and you get clips on social media of his plays all the time. Pinging balls across the field and waded through balls, and you don't get it.
You don't get it, and that's the thing. When people go, yeah, Ziyech is back, he's this, that, and I always say it's not. The thing for me with Ziyech is it's just inconsistent. He ghosts out of games, and if you're in that forward line, you can't ghost because you need to be the difference, And he has
It's a problem though because
but he was brought in to be the creative spark, and we not got none of that this season.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard on him. Like I'm being harsh on him, but I think it's hard when you got Pulisic in false nine, bruv. I mean, let's have it right. He doesn't offer you anything. He doesn't even get in position. So when Ziyech does get the ball, he hasn't got anything in front of him to sort of work with.
It's not only Ziyech. The whole front three are never playing consistently. There's a Mount and Kai Havertz is the only two that makes consistent starts.
Yeah, they're not consistent, Pulisic and Ziyech. They're not.
And I don't think Pulisic wants to play a 9. I think he is played there because he's told to play there.
Yeah, no, of course he's told. Yeah. He's told to play there, but I think Ziyech.
No, what I'm saying is
you expect it from Ziyech because he's 28. He's I keep
Johnny,
saying it. He's in his prime, bro.
No, it is, but the problem is the chemistry you build by playing with somebody all the time.
They don't have chemistry, Alex. Them lot.
Yeah,
they don't.
The whole
they don't have it.
They don't like the only chemistry I can see is it's Kai Havertz and Mount. The rest of them, it's hard to find.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Two are actually playing all the time with each other, so those are two the one that have a chemistry. I'll say Timo Werner was last season was one of those three that actually, as much as people hate Timo Werner, he was okay for me last season. And
with Kai and Mount, he's great.
Yeah,
and then you can switch Pulisic with that, and that works. But everyone else didn't work.
So what are we giving Hakim Ziyech then? Just out of an overall rating, because I'm probably going to say a fucking 4.5.
Yeah, it is 4 because he was below averages.
Right, we got to the creme de la creme too. You got Johnny Ruiz, Mason Mount, and you've got Connor with his Christian Pulisic. Which one should we go to first?
Whoever,
let's go with Christian Pulisic. We'll go Mason Mount as the last because I know this is going to end up dragging as soon as we get to him. So Pulisic, Connor, your boy, tell us.
Yeah, I'm a realist. I think when you're playing against a back like a massive solid back line, Connor Cody and all those big boys back there, like, I mean, what do you expect from some guy that doesn't want to play false 9, but he has to be there? Like me and Johnny talked about it in the beginning. I think it would have been better to have Pulisic on the wing and Mount up forward as a false 9 to be more free flowing. But I mean, you can't expect much from him, man. I mean, he's trying. Like, there are moments I feel like he performed better than Ziyech. There are times where he's dropping deep to receive the ball, but then there's also times where he doesn't know what to do in that position. So he's standing amongst the back line because he's like, I need to stand here because this is where I need to be to draw attention. But then he's like, if I drop deep, then I pull that line, and it's like, who am I dropping deep for when they put 3 in the midfield? Now I have to stay here. And I'm not saying he had a good game. He had a bad game, and he did miss a gilt-edged chance. but it's a great save from the keeper. You know what I mean? An outstanding save with his left hand. So, I mean,
Yeah.
one shot. I mean, again, one shot and one shot on target is not good enough from a false nine, but I don't think he wants to be there. And I think he's doing the best he can. I think preferably I'd have Mount in that position, but yeah, man, I mean, he plays it for the USA sometimes, but obviously, like going up against the back line of Costa Rica and Mexico are a lot different than these guys. So
that's why people take Kai Havertz for granted and underestimate
I said before the
how
game
good he is in a false nine.
Well, anybody that knows ball doesn't knock Kai Havertz, especially in that game where he didn't score any goals and we scored. What was it? It was against who was it against? It was against whoever Zaha plays for, where we scored like 7 goals.
Crystal Palace.
No, yeah. Norwich.
When Kai didn't,
Zaha doesn't play for Norwich.
Yeah. Whoever we were playing
Norwich,
against,
we played 7. We scored 7 against Norwich.
Whenever we scored 7, people were like, Kai Havertz had a bad game. He didn't score any goals. And it's like, that's because he's being that focal false nine. And I expect the same thing from Christian Pulisic, and I expect it less than what I expect from Kai Havertz. So I feel like people that are upset with the way things are going in Chelsea's fan base, which you have a right to be upset, are going to scapegoat Pulisic. But
I hear you.
I don't even scapegoat Pulisic. I think it's not his position, but him not playing his position hindered the performances or affected the rest of the forward line. And that's a major thing, because the thing is, I would have put Mount in the false nine. That's where I would have put him, because in the second half there was moments in the game where they switched around and we looked better for it, because Mount knew how to position himself and the movement was right to be on the last shoulder and wait for that ball, but that ball never comes. I just feel that Pulisic, this game relied on a one chance, and you got to take it. And the chance he had was that one chance, and we didn't take it. And it's as simple as that. Because
was it a bad miss or was it a good save?
No, I think
it's a great save.
It was a very good save, but at the same time, I feel like Pulisic, because he's a dribbler, I felt like he could have maybe positioned the ball a bit better before he shot. And
I mean,
I
he's
feel
getting sandwiched by 2 defenders on the run. And for him to receive that ball behind him, at least in the middle of his body and behind him, not a through ball out in front of him to run onto, he had to bring the ball physically with him from outside the box into the box, in between 2 of those players, and get a shot off, which he shot high right. He didn't even try to go between the legs or low left post, low right post.
I hear that.
He went high right. I think it was an outstanding save. And Johnny, listen, man, this is where you're going to laugh at me. I think that his performance on that shot and the save is equal to the one that Mason Mount had saved last game.
No.
Not
100%.
a chance.
Fuck it, no.
100%.
No, it's a similar position.
It's a similar down to
but Mason Mount's was Mason Mount's shot was not as
well. Pickford made the world class save in that game.
No,
he
but
made
not
the world
like
class
that,
save.
No,
it was a world class save.
Not for
what are
me.
you saying, Redneck?
Well, I'm gonna be a little bit different about this approach. Like the false nine position, like when people say in false nine position, that means that Pulisic supposedly stay there. If he's supposed to stay there, that's a number 9 position. So he didn't play false 9. He played number 9.
Yeah.
If that's what you're saying, then yes, he shouldn't be. But since he played false 9 and they rotate, the sense of the false 9 is when front 3 rotate, whoever gets what position is going up or down. Whoever
they did that more in the second half. Yeah. They did that more in the second half. First half, it went there.
They looked confused. Like, why was Mason Mount questioning to Thomas Tuchel? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry
because he reverted to back 4 out of blue.
Yeah,
and then everyone was like, "Shit," and we looked a bit unbalanced. We were playing the back 4.
Yeah.
If you saw for like, I think it was like 5 minutes, maybe. It wasn't long. But we played back 4.
We played back 4, or James did not exist in that game because James is nowhere near a full back.
He's playing. He played.
It's not a back 4. They're complaining because they did not know who and who. Aspilicueta was asking Tuchel, and that's when conversation started against James. Who's covering who's run? Because James is getting cut out of position in the first half way too many times.
Well,
And
he's bombing it
Aspilicueta
forward. He's bombing it forward.
yeah,
Man.
he was going forward, but he needs to remember he's not a winger either. I understand he wants to be, but Aspilicueta getting caught between the rock and a hard place. He didn't know which runner he should chase. That's why the whole midfield restructure happened late after the first half.
That's why
we
he needs Koundé there. That's why he needs someone who's young, fast,
Johnny,
rapid.
let's talk about the
also-
Wolves game, man. Let's not talk about the Koundé.
No, I'm saying that's why
Hakuna
you're
Matata.
looking at that's why he's looking at a play like that though, because if James does bomb forward as he did,
Are we talking
Aspi
about
ain't got-
James now? Let me get to James. Then.
Aspi hasn't got the legs, and
not
neither has
finished with Pulisic.
Christensen.
Yeah,
Finish
Yeah,
Pulisic,
go to
bro.
Pulisic. Go to Pulisic.
let him finish Pulisic. And I forgot James, but we need to do Mason Mount as well. So let's try and speed it up quickly. Go on. What are you saying,
Pulisic,
Redneck?
I will the only props I'll give to Pulisic for that miss is it was on his left. But people saying that Pulisic is good on the left, so I will take it as a miss. It's not a save, it's a miss. If you're going against one-on-one, and I think he actually did really good job by going between the three defenders and getting that position first. But the shot it was pretty poor actually. Like he lifted way too high. He was off balance. That's the only chance he had to do it. Like you know how Pulisic runs sometimes, like a little way too top heavy, like unbalanced. So for me, it was a miss because you one-on-one and you play in that position. That's a miss. But
Yeah.
and the front three, like with Ziyech and false nine. I don't think Mount would have done any better over there, just because there was still, for some reason, we decided that we need to play long balls to Pulisic, like he's a freaking Diego
What was that
Costa.
all about? I was getting so pissed off with that.
Ridiculous. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that was
Mount-
just unacceptable. You can't be
You
doing
know,
that.
like, what are we thinking, that he's like Diego Costa or Didier Drogba's gonna hurt?
No. But that's why our game was breaking down in the first half, because we were doing we were making the most dumbest decisions to play from the
Exactly.
back and just hoof
But
it up.
Do you know why that was? It's because we were so imbalanced with the pivot, the wing backs weren't getting in the positions to support the attacker, and they were blocking the lines. That's why Kante in the second half, he was in between the lines, and it allowed us to play it to him, and then he could play it out to the right, and we were basically creating not triangle as such, but we were getting in pockets where we saw success down the right and the left, more so right down the right. Down the right, we were so threatening, but down the left, it was.
Now you're talking about the right. Quickly, Reece James, because I forgot about him after everything. How was his performance for you guys? Do you think he was?
He was a bit off it, a little bit, just a little bit off. I think.
I think you can tell his inexperience, because I feel like if he was 2 or 3 or 4 more years older, or had played in the league for 2 or 3 plus more years, I feel like he was really relying on Aspi's experience. And you could see in the beginning where they were confused on, and I don't think it's personally on him. I think it's personally Chalobah, but I don't blame Chalobah because he doesn't play that position, because they had they overloaded our midfield. And then when they were
played this position before. Sorry to interrupt.
He's played it in like the U23 teams, playing against Wolvers and starting for a senior squad. He's not going to be starting in midfield. Like, of course, Tuchel says he's played it before.
He played in championship whole season over there.
Yeah, for the Chelsea U21s.
No. For championship when he was on loan.
Oh, he was on loan.
Yeah, championship, exactly. So for me, trying to play that against Wolves or anybody, God forbid, which I don't think we'll ever see him there, if any 4 plus 5 of our midfielders fit, whenever they're overloading and they're running down the right-hand side, I don't think Reece James was very aware of the overload and how he was going too far and leaving that space in behind to link up to the midfield. But Chalobah did stop a few plays, but I don't know. I didn't see anything great out of him. And
They were reluctant to play. I noticed they were reluctant to play it to Chalobah, and they kept going down Reece's way or Alonso's, and that's because Chalobah's not really experienced in that role. It's a lot of pressure for him, because if he loses the ball, we are exposed straight away. There's no. Everyone's so pushed in front of him, they ain't going to make it back in time. So that's why Jorginho's so important, and
So
Kovacic. and
overall,
all that.
Reece James's performance, what we're saying, because I would personally say that it was an average performance for him, but I do think he's playing a lot of football at the moment as well. So
Well, didn't he have COVID? Not COVID. He was out for the game before, wasn't he?
He was injured, yes.
Yeah. So I've noticed with most players
It's
when they
4 for
come
me.
back,
He was below his average, so
yeah, I would say I'd say a 5 actually.
well, 5 is average, right?
Yeah, average 4 or 5 is
Is that how we're rating it? 5 is average.
That's
5
what I
is average,
understood.
isn't it?
but
It's
so-
bang in the middle of 10, isn't it? But 4 is just
Here's the
average.
thing about the Chalobah. Chalobah look lost because when we're rating the teams, we forget to see the system that Wolves set up. Wolves set up 5 in midfield. That's why Chalobah look lost, because we always had the extra person in the midfield.
packed in the middle. Yeah,
It was packed in the middle. That's all it was.
That's why.
So
Because they wanted
not a-
us. It's because they wanted Alex. It's because they wanted us to go down the right and left and cross it in. They didn't want us to go down the middle, especially with Pulisic. Because Pulisic, if he gets the ball to his feet and he drops in a little bit deep, he's dangerous because he'll turn you and you'll foul him. But they didn't want that. Even Mount can turn you. Ziyech can potentially turn you. But because they were blocking the middle, we had to go rely on Alonso and James, and they're happy with that.
James. We didn't even bother. Like I keep saying to you guys, we play more down the right than we do the
right than in the left.
We always do.
There is
Because
only
in the second half, you saw more chemistry was Mount, Mount and James.
We got Mason Mount on the screen. The last player to be analysed.
Minerals General, bruv. Yeah.
Go on then, I'll let you start, Mr. Minerals, about your player.
Yeah, well, for me, he never drops under a 7. So for me, he's a 7 out of 10 straight away. He's consistent. The two with him up front hindered his performance. The only one that actually worked well with Mount was Reece James, because they know each other and they know how to link with each other. And Kante did link up with Mount, but because Kante's been out of the game for a while, it was a little bit off by Kante as well. But for me, Mount, the pockets of spaces he was getting into, the intelligence of how he was playing on the shoulder, how he helped his teammates to try and create some movement from the Wolves, split the Wolves back line to create some pockets because they were so tight. He was class. And for me, I think there was a few, it wasn't a great ball that he crossed in. I think like a low sort of square ball, wasn't quite there. He had a few chances, but then he had a shot blocked, and he didn't get into the positions. When he did get in the positions, no one found him. And when he gets into the positions, he's got the ball. There's no one fucking in sight of him. There's no Ziyech. There's no Pulisic. They're in the fog, bruv. So for me, I think 7 out of 10. He's on the pitch. You got to remember, Mason Mount has played 90 minutes consecutively, and this game was a hard graft game. A lot of pressing. A lot of off the ball movement.
Do you not think a 7's a bit too high? I think
that's
too high for him, bro.
Not at all.
I don't think he's a 7. Personally,
I put him on par with. For me, the spine of the team that played well was Thiago Silva, Kante, and Mount.
No, it's just Thiago Silva and Kante.
Those three, because up front, if you take Mount out of that up front line, all right, and you left Ziyech, Kovacic, and Pulisic. Forget it, bruv. You ain't even getting in anything. Your wing-backs are lost, bruv.
I don't think he was that great, if you want my honest opinion. I think he done what he can do, but he didn't. Like, I wouldn't say he was a 7. 7's saying he's played really well.
No. For me, he's playing very well. He's an 8 and a 9. 8 and 9.
Oh my god. Redneck. What was Mason Mount's rating, please? Everyone in the chat's going mad at the moment.
Well, here's the thing.
But before you go, Alex, Pulisic's positions, bruv, were stinky. He wasn't creating anything for Mount. Every time Mount got the ball, right? Every time he got the ball, where was he going to play it? His only options was either a Kante, bruv, bombing it forward, or a Reece James on the overlap. Pulisic, Ziyech, nowhere to be fucking seen. Even if you pass it to Kovacic ain't going to score or shoot. So he's going to just pass it on again. So when he went into the false 9 position, we were better balanced and we looked more threatening. But the
when
problem
Kovacic
is,
came in, it was already changed the game. The game we finally matched him. We only matched. We started the. We only when Kovacic came in, we finally matched the midfield, and that's why we started to play a little bit better in the midfield. When we took off the Ziyech and put Kovacic in there.
my thing is, if you put Mount in that position with Pulisic, Mount finishes that. He scores the goal 1-0. He's
He
clinical.
literally had a better chance, Johnny. Yesterday.
No, but
Yeah,
I
he
think
had a
in
better
this,
chance and he missed it.
no. In this game, the way the game was, if that chance landed
Johnny,
to Mount anywhere near in the box,
I
he's
don't want to
putting it
argue with
away,
you
bro.
today. Not today. Not
He's
today.
he's putting it away, bro.
Maybe
I'm telling
tomorrow.
you.
Maybe
I'm
tomorrow.
telling
Johnny,
you, bruv. He's putting it away. Clear as
Johnny,
day.
let me
Mount
finish
is on
my rating.
fire, bruv. All right,
Go
they,
on, Redneck.
they hindered
Yeah.
his
Go on, Redneck.
fucking performances. Those two crooks
Here's
robbed him.
Here's my
Johnny always
problem.
finds someone else to blame, didn't he, when it comes
Everyone.
to this?
Well, no disrespect, but Ziyech and Pulisic were fucking. They were nowhere near Mount's level, bruv. They didn't even offer off the ball movement. What did they offer?
Like, don't talk about my boy like that. Like,
All I'm saying is that Mason Mount had 2 shots and none of them were on target.
No, because he got a block, and when Pulisic had the chance of the game, he fluffed his lines, didn't he? He was still in America, bro.
So Mason Mount fluffed his lines yesterday, yeah?
What did he fluff?
On Thursday.
No,
On
because he had
Thursday.
2 chances and he converted one. So Pulisic, he can't even do that.
The 2 chances today, he didn't even hit the target.
What do you mean he didn't hit the target? What 2 chances are you talking about?
Today, and he didn't hit none. Didn't even hit the target.
He did have 2 chances. What
He
2
had
chances?
2 chances and he didn't hit the target.
When?
What do you mean? This is the match statistics right here. 2
Nah,
shots,
bruv.
no shots
The
on
shots he
target.
had were blocked, bruv. They were blocked by the defender.
they did go in, I know that.
Yeah,
of
it didn't
course
even
they
go
didn't
near
go
the
in,
goal, man.
But what
I know-
other-
I know he-
tell me
I know
another,
he hit-
tell me
I know
another
he hit-
player in our side that took a shot in the box or outside the box. You can't name me one.
Pulisic?
No, he didn't. When did he have a shot outside the box?
You said in the box or outside the box?
Yeah, but that was the best chance of the game he had. That was the best chance. That was
You're
the
not going to
clear-cut
win this
chance.
battle. Sorry,
Oh,
my
yeah.
friend.
I'm
You're
not
not going to win this
Pulisic's
battle.
chance was the game win. That was the one to win the game because we didn't have any opportunities. The chances Mount created for himself was to have a go because no one else had the minerals to do it. And my point is, Pulisic had the ball played through, and he didn't put the ball in there, and that was the best chance.
Well, let's see what Redneck's got to say. Let's let him finish off on this.
I
Go
didn't
on,
even
Redneck.
start it. Or how are you going to
I know.
finish if I can
Yeah,
start
go,
it?
Go on, go.
Here's the thing. I think the West Ham, for fuck's sake, the Wolves left back or left wing back, whatever they played, might be asking for assault charges against Mount because he keeps hitting him with the ball from corners, can't pass it. Like I was watching William today, like every corner can't pass the front man. Every cross from Mount in the box was hitting the first guy. It was poor by him for Mount. I was so like I thought out of everybody, I think he will gonna bring today, a little bit extra.
He did bring it.
And they did
But they
bring
couldn't
it, but
find it,
wasn't-
bruv.
but it
They
wasn't-
couldn't
it was-
find him, bruv. I mean,
Johnny.
there was
like,
moments in that game, bruv, especially in the second half, because the first half was a stinker by the other
if
two.
you
But the
find
second
highlights
second
of the
half,
game,
bruv, go and watch how intelligent his movement
let
is.
me-
He's Johan Cruyff off the ball,
Let him
bruv.
finish, Johnny. Let him
And they
finish.
can't find him,
Let
bruv.
him
Gonna-
finish.
They cannot find him, bruv.
Let him finish.
if you can watch, if
Incompetent.
you're gonna watch the highlights like on any channel, the highlights of the game, Mount was not gonna be involved in any of those highlights. I bet you money.
I'm going to watch the highlights, and he'll be in the highlights, bruv. Do you know the
Watch.
commentator? The commentator said Mount has been worked exceptional on this game. He's been everywhere. He's been all over the pitch. Because if you take Mount off, Wolves are winning the game, bro. They'll win the game.
I love Mount.
I
but
love
this
Mount
was not-
too,
This,
and
is
I
not,
was-
this is not the game to say that he was exceptional for me. I wouldn't say he was exceptional.
So
I think
anyway,
No,
he can play
I
in
said
Champions
I
League.
said his work rate off the ball
and that's why he gets
allowed us
five,
to
not
play.
4.
No,
That's
he
why he
doesn't.
get 5, not 4.
You joking? He gets a 5. You're having a laugh, mate. Yeah, he's on the pitch for 90 minutes.
Well, look,
right?
Johnny.
No other players on the pitch.
Johnny.
The only reason Pulisic's on the pitch because we've got no fucking one else to put on in the false nine position. All right, let's have it right.
Johnny,
so
that's
Mount
point.
has to play 90 minutes again, and the kid's tired, bro.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know a kid is tired
because everyone else is so fucking competent around him, bro. They're not good enough.
That's my turn, man.
They're not good enough, bro.
I'm saying what I'm saying.
And I'm sick of people scapegoating Mount, like telling me he's a 5. You're having a bubble, man.
Yeah, but he can be a 5.
He's not a 5,
Johnny.
He's not a 5.
No, but you know certain
he's
games
not
he's going to be a 5, didn't you? Eventually. Like, he can't be 7,
He doesn't
8.
know. He's
Can
our most consistent
I explain
player.
why he is 5 for me?
Go on.
It's because first of all, if the other 2 is 4 for me, because 5 is average. I didn't see Mount do anything extra than the job he's supposed to do.
Oh man!
To give me a 6 or 7, he needs to do something extra than what, especially 7. 7 for me, it's a goal.
Do you know where? All right, let me
that's
explain
how
this.
I rate Johnny.
Before you go, let Connor go.
Where were we?
No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just saying I'm done with Mount.
Tell me where on the pitch were we the most threatening? Tell me that.
Where James was.
Right, and who's playing with James on the right? Mount, correct. So when you got Mount and James on the right, and we are the most dangerous, that is the only fucking outlet we had in this game because you're relying on either a Ziyech, Kovacic, or Alonso to create magic on the left. It ain't happening, bruv. You're going to be waiting for next Christmas.
Look, Johnny, I agree. We relied on that wing because of James and Mount.
Yeah, but that's why Mount gets the 7, bruv.
Yeah,
because
but
he gave us the most threat on that side with James.
But they did not produce. That's why.
No. They produced. I'll tell you why it didn't look like they produced. Because you're playing it in when Mount's got the ball. What you think all he's got is to cross it in, right?
Yeah.
Where's he going to cross it to?
1 second,
Johnny. That's the problem. The problem is even his crosses couldn't get the target.
It's the same. It's the same problem. It was the same problem as Everton, bruv. It's the same problem.
1 second. So Suke said, "Thanks for the donation, bro." Says Kante was the only player who performed well today, and that's his opinion on that. Thanks for the donation. Connor, go.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate.
I agree.
All right, Johnny, do you want to let me give my rating and then explain it?
Yeah, go.
You go, but everyone knows I'm giving him 7, bruv, and I stick by it.
That's fine. That's fine.
He's never under a 7 for me.
Yes.
Never.
Can
He's always a 7 out of 10.
Go on, Connor, go.
Johnny knows that I don't just pull shit out of my ass. So this is the reason why I'm going to give Mount a rating of a 5. I'm going to give Mount a rating of a 5 for these reasons. He out of the front 3 is the best player out of the front 3. He out of the front 3 is the most informed player out of the front 3. And he today had 13 crosses and only completed 3 and 2 shots and none hit the target.
Do you know why they weren't completed, Connor? Because we got a midget in the middle.
Johnny, can I finish
We've got a midget in the middle, bruv.
Can I just finish real quick? Can I just finish real quick?
Well, if it's Lukaku, we might have a goal, bruv. But when you got a 4-foot Pulisic in there,
all
bruv,
I'm saying is,
where you head?
Danny, how did Lukaku have crosses in the box? Did not even pass the front.
Because Lukaku's never in the fucking position to get it crossed to him, bruv. He's too slow,
his
bruv.
crosses never reach the front man.
Let Connor finish.
Let Connor finish. Yeah. So because we hold Mason Mount to a higher standard because he is the best out of those, and we hold him on top of that to a higher standard because he's supposed to be in form with 4 in his last 4. And we got 0 end productivity, almost negative productivity out of him. Yes, he did create with Reece James to cross, but there was no outcome to it. Even if it was right, this is my last point, right? Even if it was, we're doing a bad decision by crossing into a quote unquote midget in the middle. He should have taken. Mason Mount's known for taking shots outside the box. I don't know why he didn't. Not one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did actually. He did, and it was blocked. Yeah, that was one of the chances. But what you got to remember is you got 2 planks of walls, bruv. 2 planks of wood, bruv.
Yeah.
In front of you. So, you've got to get through 2 man, maybe 3 players. You got to hope your shot gets through. And you've got to make sure that the goalie doesn't say, it's a fucking high probability. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Pulisic's chance, 1-on-1, great chance. he fluffed his lines, and that's the way it goes. I mean,
Come on,
but
Johnny,
for
be
me,
fair. It was saved.
Johnny,
You
be
can't say he
serious.
fluffed his line.
but for me, Mount's positional play when he was in the false nine was class, bruv. Absolutely class, mate. And he was our most threatening player with James on the right. There was no other threat anywhere in the pitch.
I don't think we had any real threat.
What's going on?
You know that I'm not discrediting Mount, right? Like I'm not.
No, but for me, everyone's saying he's a 5. It's insulting to me.
Yeah,
bruv.
he's 5.
I find it insulting. Bruv.
Go on, football star. What are you saying? Go on.
Yeah,
You don't
he's
think calling
5.
Christian Pulisic a little midget, the guy that assisted Mason Mount to score the goal in the Champions League run to send us to the final? You don't think that's insulting
What
to
do you
Christian
mean
Pulisic?
assist? What do you mean he assisted the goal in the Champions League?
When Mason Mount scored his goal against Real Madrid to send us to the final, do you want to know who passed it to him?
Yeah,
It's a square. It was just a square. Yeah, it was a square ball, bro.
A square ball. He begged 2 players.
Wait.
That's what I'm saying, though.
There's no disrespect on him, bruv. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, Connor. Did you just met Johnny?
Yeah.
The problem is, that you're telling me that you're bringing up that pass. There's nothing to discredit about that. But what I'm saying to you is, what do you expect? What completion of Mount's balls do you expect when you're crossing it into a 4'8" false 9 player? So if you don't cross it, you've got to cut back, haven't you?
Guys, let's move on
He's
from
cutting
it. Let's
back,
move
bruv.
on
Oh,
from
he's
it.
cutting
Let's-
back, bruv. Do you know what I
Let's
mean?
move on from it.
Johnny,
right?
you have to
Go on,
be serious.
football star, let's go.
You have to be serious.
Let's
when you
see a
rate.
football style. Go on.
Yeah.
Johnny, you should be serious because you rate him higher, like because you protect him. Like, you should be like in general for us to want because you want to win for this match. So I would say that like he should get 5 because he didn't like.
No. It's insulting, bruv.
Johnny, let him
5.
finish.
It's not
Let him
insulting.
finish.
You're telling me he's
Johnny,
one
Johnny,
notch.
that's his
You're
opinion.
telling me he's the same as Pulisic, and he's one notch up above
Johnny,
Ziyech.
Johnny,
You're
Let him
crackers,
finish.
bruv.
this is
You're
opinion.
crackers, bruv.
Chill,
What's
chill,
this got a
chill,
4?
bro, chill. I just
Everyone's giving him a 5, right? When we gave Pulisic a 5, you're telling
No, we
me
gave him
I
Mount
would give
was
Pulisic
fucking
3.
the
I give
same as
Pulisic 3.
Pulisic.
I give
Go.
Pulisic 3. He's not.
Hey, just so
existing,
you know, Mason Mount was rated officially a 6.98, and Hakeem Ziyech was rated a 7.27. So,
Oh my
Johnny,
god!
Be
Listen,
honest, Johnny,
I'm just saying.
I rated Mount 7 out of 10, but Ziyech was not fucking above a 7, bruv. No chance, bruv.
Football style. Go on. What are you saying?
So I'm
Said it
saying
right.
that he deserves 5 because he had missing much chances and I didn't
What chances?
He
What
missed,
chances did he miss,
Exactly.
bruv?
He didn't have no chances.
yeah, he had one to shoot in the goal in front of the
he
goal
also hit the side netting.
from the right side in the goalkeeper side when he had the corner pass through to the defender to him. I forgot when he was, but he had the chance. But in Everton missed goal, he should have like thinking before he shoot. Like look at the goalkeeper.
Don't bring up Everton, bruv. He scored the goal that got us a draw. What are you bringing up Everton for?
The
bruv?
first goal, I mean, the first goal.
Yeah, but it's got nothing
missed-
to do with this game.
Yeah, but in my opinion, his performance today is like in the right side,
It
nothing
was
like
average.
in the middle.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the middle or like in the left.
He's not
like,
average, bruv. Go and
No,
watch
but
his
it
movement.
was an average performance.
Yeah,
If you look at the first half, we were poor, man. They were all poor. Everyone on that pitch was poor, including Mason Mount. We didn't do anything in that first
If
half.
you're telling me that he's the same as Pulisic and
No,
one
I
notch
don't-
above Ziyech, I don't stick
No,
me out
Ziyech was
here, bruv.
poor. Ziyech was
Pulisic
like
deserves
three.
3.
Crap.
So Pulisic deserves 3, to be honest, because
Yeah.
he wasn't uh, existing.
Can you put up Reggie's comment?
Reggie. Mount to get a 1 as the best player, he should be doing something. There you go. There you go.
Yo, that is
Let's not talk
asinine.
about one now.
You know what asinine is? That's what that is.
Dan, what are you saying about it, man? About the game overall? What's going on?
That was a shit game.
Yeah.
That's
That
pretty
was
much it, really.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have gone on. We had so many players missing, but I mean, it is what it is. We got through it. I think we could have stolen the win, but we could have managed
If we
to
win,
actually do that.
if we
but
win, then now
it is
we
what
will
it
be
is.
equalizer for Liverpool.
No, it wouldn't.
the
It would still be a one point be. If we won, that would have given us 2 extra points.
Well, very
Nothing.
fortunate Liverpool drew. Very
Yeah.
fortunate.
They should have lost, to be honest. Let's get it real.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Why do you guys get stuck on Mount so much? Like
Why do you think? Who's here?
Like, what's wrong with you guys?
Well, it's because I rate him. I don't think he drops under a 7 for me. He's a 7 out of 10. He's consistent, and he's only up from there. And I think even a poor Mason Mount
That's
gets a
not the
7 out of 10,
problem.
bro.
We're okay with
Mason
you.
Mount is
We're okay with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Rate him 7, but you're not okay with us rating him 5. That's the
It's
problem.
an opinion.
No, because 5 for me is like it's
All right,
really
let's ask
disrespectful.
Dan because he's a big Mason Mount. Dan, what is Mason Mount's level of performance out of 10 today?
I thought it was a 6, 6.65.
There you go. See,
But and also I think there's context. Like, who was it who said he's the best player? He's in form. He needs to. He's not gonna drag these guys out of everything every fucking game. Like,
we can't. They're bums, bro.
y'all can step up. Y'all can do something. And what's hilarious is
They're incompetent,
So the
bro.
best player
Hold on,
can't
Johnny.
step
Hold
up
on,
and
Johnny.
do
Let me
something,
finish.
but the
Let me
two
finish.
worst players have to step
Hold
up. and
on,
do
let me finish. Right? He's not Ronaldo. He's not Lewandowski. He's not going to
Now we're
score
making
5
excuses
games in a
for our
row.
best player.
But anyway, let me finish. All right. He started 5 games in a row for 90 minutes after not
Correct.
starting the game in 8 games.
Correct.
But that being said,
Facts.
when
And he
Mason
scored
Mount,
he scored
when Mason
four
Mount was
consecutive
saving
games,
himself,
bro.
hold on, Johnny, hold on. When Mason Mount was saving himself and being more effective in scoring goals, it was what is he doing? This game, this motherfucker was a press merchant, pressing everywhere.
Thank you, Daniel, bro.
Dropping
Thank
in,
you, bro. Thank you,
covering
bro.
space,
There we
general
go.
play that people love. And now it's he didn't do shit in this.
He
game.
didn't do shit. He didn't
Why
do
he did
nothing.
bad
Nah,
corners?
he
Why
didn't
he
do
did bad
nothing.
corners?
But when he
Why
does
bad-
that,
he
you
did
flip
bad
it and
corners?
say he ghosted.
Yeah,
All he
exactly.
did was scored.
Absolute facts, Daniel.
Like,
Absolute facts.
Okay.
Movement,
Listen,
pressing, game
hold on, Johnny,
intelligence,
hold on. For
intensity,
me,
bruv.
he wasn't a 7. He wasn't excellent, but for me, he was tired. He started 5
Yeah,
games in a
I
row,
agree with
90
that.
minutes every game. So for me,
That's why I give him a 7, bruv, because he played
I
out of
give
his
him a-
skins,
Yeah,
even tired, bruv.
Johnny, I
Because we have
respect
injury
that,
players.
but
We have
hold on,
injury
let me
players.
give my.
Let him
I
speak.
respect that, but I give
Exceptional
him a 6.
player.
I give
Exceptional
him a
player.
6.
Exceptional
Yeah,
player.
I think Mason Mount. I just think it wasn't his greatest performance overall. I agree that he
No,
might be tired.
no one
and
can
he's
bring
overplayed.
those minerals and that
Yeah,
It's our
intensity and
opinion.
energy,
It's our
bruv.
opinion.
Playing all
listen,
them minutes, bruv.
Yeah,
No
listen,
chance. No
Listen, he
chance.
has been. Look, even though I don't think his level of performances have been great, his outputs are better than what it has been the last 2 seasons already. So you can only go on what he's doing.
Do you know
which
what,
is
Jem?
fine.
It's the
Oh,
same.
God, so-
It's the same
but he's
story
not-
as
he did-
having when we had Eden Hazard. Mount can't. You can't rely on the other players around Eden Hazard like you can't rely on the players around Mason Mount. He can't do it all the time. And right now he's been our Eden Hazard. He scored.
I said he was a 6. Wait, hold on.
He scored 4
Jen, what is
consecutive
wrong with
games.
this people?
The only player that's done that is Eden Hazard, and he keeps doing it. He's performed today. You know,
Who,
you
this
could
guy?
argue. Who? What's he said?
Who do the tile?
Listen.
Oh, shit.
Let's have it
Let's take
right.
the piss.
He's an exceptional player. His off the ball work was exceptional in this game. Ziyech ain't got minerals to do that. Pulisic ain't got the minerals to do that, bruv.
Come
And
on
that's
in,
the
Nick
bottom
Blue.
line.
Unlike Ty, I'll smack the stripes off your shirt, man.
Nick Blue, what you saying?
I'm waiting for this lot to calm down, especially
Come on.
John in a wording. Johnny,
Go
just relax a bit and let someone else talk. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, first of all, we shouldn't have played this game. That was, it was ridiculous why the FA let this game go.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. We got. It's a campaign against Chelsea, isn't it? That's
Johnny,
why.
Let him talk.
Yeah, I'm letting him talk, bro.
Right.
So.
When Chelsea asked for it to be postponed, why? When Tottenham asked for they postponed them. There's a big conspiracy against Roman Abramovich. That's facts. The government doesn't want him. The FA don't want him. The FA are always against Chelsea, like always.
It's the campaign, yeah. It's real.
And the match today was so frustrating again. We should be beating these bloody teams. Even with the team we had out, we should have beaten them today.
Well, if Pulisic took his chance, Nick, we would have been 1-0 up, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
Right, but it was a good save. Look, the problem was, I think, we didn't press from the front like we usually do.
Well, one side on the right did. I don't know about the other two, bruv.
Finish, for fuck's sake.
God damn it.
Or Ziyech or three were jogging. I could see them jogging instead of running. There wasn't pressing. All 3 of them. It's not one player. Alonso lost in the fog. The only good players the only decent players were Kansi Silva and Kovacic.
And Mount Nick.
Kante.
Let's have it right.
Yo,
Let's have
fix
it
your
right.
Wi-Fi, Nick. What's going on with you?
Mount plays good. Also, Jim. I always say he was the man of the match. But he wasn't today. The
He
three of
doesn't
them.
have money for the Wi-Fi, Daniel.
If we had any, we would have won.
Daniel, your Wi-Fi keeps Daniel, Nick, your Wi-Fi keeps cutting out, mate. Come out and come back in because I don't know why you keep bugging. I can't hear you properly when you're talking.
Ziyash, in my opinion,
We can't. Yeah, you keep cutting, mate. Keep cutting. Look, what's Class Ref doing? Class Ref, what you saying, my
Let's
guy?
have it right.
class rep.
Okay, bro. What's up? Like Mount or what? Should I talk
Talk
about
about Chelsea in general.
bro? Like,
Here comes the comedian now. Here comes the comedian now.
I don't think he's a big fucking egg because he was just a headless chicken, unintelligent. He was a fop today.
What, like Timo?
No, not like. Hey, listen, he missed it. He actually missed like a chemo today. Like, remember, Man
What, his
United-
headless chicken runs? Are we-
Timo,
Johnny, let him finish.
Let him finish.
Ziyech was doing a
He's
Mount
never
job.
going to finish. That's what you guys
People
don't
said to him,
understand.
like, you can do Mount job. Mount doesn't do his own job, right? So he let Ziyech do Mount job, and then you've got like Pulisic in, playing as a striker, or you can call it, number
He was dead.
9 or whatever you can call him. But like, listen, what is Mount doing? Like, he's playing alongside Reece James.
Do
He's
you know,
crossing the
Claswell,
ball.
do you know a player called Johan
Once he
Cruyff?
No,
bruv?
Johnny, let this wallet finish, please.
Well, I'm asking if he knows Cruyff, bruv. Does he know
Yo, he's
Johan
going to
Cruyff?
keep going for
Yo,
20 minutes.
let
Let
him
him finish.
finish, bro.
Then 10 times he's crossing again to
Can you hear
you.
me?
Why are
Hello?
you crossing people? And he's actually playing alongside Reece James. Why are you like twinning? Are you twinning? Like, you should be in the middle. You should be doing 1-1-2 with Pulisic. Well, he's crossing him 10, 15 times. That's like a fucking unintelligent human being.
Unintelligent human being.
Well, we're going personal now, are we? Is that what we're
No.
going?
Let him.
Like,
Yeah.
you can give him, you can't give him like more than 0. He could have easily scored 2-3 goals. He could have easily made goals for
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, thanks, Clark F. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, Claswell, mate.
That was
That's a
great.
great analysis, man. Really spot on
I
that.
told you guys. You guys never finishes, man.
But I wanted to ask you, do you know about a player called Johan Cruyff? Because he was exceptional off the ball, bruv. That's something Timo is not bad at, but Mount is levels, bruv. Absolute levels above
That
them.
that was a lucky goal, to be
Do
honest.
you know
That
if
was a
Timo's in
typical
this game,
mistake.
bruv? Do you know what?
You
Do you know
know,
what would be funny? He's playing against
against
a low block, bruv.
Left,
And do you know how that
side.
goes down? He
Everybody
hasn't got a
knows that
dribbling
Lewin
touch,
is
bruv.
very poor on the
Werner
left
can't
side.
can't hold the ball, bruv. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, like,
So I don't know what you're expecting here, but to give Mount a 0, you're a disgrace, son.
Yo,
Because
don't.
Ziyech and what's his name? Pulisic, bruv. Captain
Give him
America.
a 7. There's no difference.
Now, 7's an absolute fair result, bro.
You can't be giving him 7.
Yeah, absolutely, I can. Damn right.
Okay, 7 for what?
Absolutely
7 for
right.
what? It's still
7.
0-0. If he was a 7, if he scored a goal, done something, it's still 0-0. No
Do you
team
know
on that
what?
pitch should
In
be
the
getting a
Everton
7.
game, he was an 8.5 because he's man of the match, bro. He scored the goal,
God,
and we didn't win the game,
God's
bro, did we?
What?
And
Too early
in
for this.
the Norwich game, he was a 10. He was a 10 out of 10, bro. So
I like
you know
him,
what
of
I'm saying?
course. He was 10 out. Yeah, Norwich, I agree. Well, he hasn't provided anything to us. We didn't win the game.
What do you expect
How
when
you
you
give him
got
a
fucking
7?
Houdini Ziyech, bro?
If he was that good,
he goes missing, bro. Where
if
is
he
he?
was that good, he would be doing that himself. If he was that good of a player, he would do that himself.
Oh,
He was
so
a
we
7,
want
8
him to
player.
turn into Messi, yeah?
If he was that good, he'd be Messi.
Oh,
Huh?
the way
We'll turn him into Messi,
the way you
bro.
talk about him.
I'm crying here. I thought Pulisic was my Hazard, bruv. I thought he was my Messi, bruv. But I was wrong, bruv.
Hey, so Jem's rating is 5 is average, just the way that on the Who Scored 7 is average. Because Mount got a 7 in the Who Scored. If we're averaging it based off that, I give him a 7. But if we're doing it off Jem's rating show,
well, I don't know about
5,
your stinky
I'm giving it a
ratings,
5.
bruv. Your stinky ratings are stinky. I feel like I'm getting knocked out here, bruv. For me, it's a 7 out of 10. I called him a 7 out of 10, and this rating's given a 7 out of 10. They know ball, bruv. They know what they're watching.
Again, Alonso an 8.
Even the
Agree with that?
commentators said
minus
how
0.
exceptional he was off the ball, bruv, and how he was working tirelessly, pressing,
Let's see
bruv.
what Matt's got to say. Matt,
I'm saying?
did you watch the game, mate? What did you say?
Yeah, I watched half and then I fell asleep because I could not be bothered watching a 0-0. I'm glad I didn't stay up for the whole game. 0-0, horrendous. There's nothing really to say. I really wish it got cancelled, honestly. I was on the go to got cancelled. I don't want to be playing in these type of situations. It's really embarrassing that Premier League didn't cancel it, but there's nothing to say, really. We're just fucking shit now. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Alon-
No,
I just-
go on, football star.
Yeah, I just want to say that Alonso's performance was shit today.
Yeah, we know that. I think we
Like,
can all
he
agree on that.
should get 1 million minus 0 because I don't know what he done for us.
But the app gave him an 8. I don't know how that works. The app gave him an 8. Like they gave Mount a 7, they gave Alonso an 8.
What?
That's what?
What the fuck? Who gave that?
Alonso
I need
an
to see this. I need
Put
to see this.
it full screen, bro. Lemon
Who-
lampade.
Johnny, who had the better game second half, Kante or Mount?
I think they both played
Don't do
levels
that,
together.
bro. Like, why are
Levels
you?
together.
Oh, man.
Both levels together. 7.5.
No, I would say Kante, to be honest,
Those
but that's
Kante,
my
man.
opinion. I'd
Well,
say Kante.
Kante got in between the lines, but for me, that's
Kante
where
was
I
man
want
of the match
Mount.
today. He was excellent.
It was excellent.
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
it?
Kante is
And he's half
unbelievable.
fit. What the
Thiago
fuck?
Silva is my
Thanks for the
of the match,
donation,
to
bro.
be honest.
But Kante
Yeah.
hasn't played 5 consecutive 90 minutes, so I mean, would he have given that performance? I don't know.
Nick Blue, go on, mate. You wanted to finish off what you were saying earlier. You cut off.
Oh, he's back.
He is.
Your
but
mic's
he's
muted.
on mute. You're on mute now, mate. Can't hear
Yeah,
He's
Hello. Yeah, can
Yes,
you
Nick.
hear me?
Yeah.
you. Yes, mate.
I was saying about the game. I think
Yeah.
the game was it was drawn, but it's like a lost the game because our front three wasn't doing their job. Any other front three, if we had Havertz, Cho, and Lukaku, we would win the game. But all 3 of them were rubbish. All 3.
Oh,
I don't know if you don't watch the game, but can you not see them scrolling instead of running, pressing like we used to? No one was doing that.
What if
And,
you go? What if Nick? What if I've got a question? What if you're going on a run, right, and you got your 2 dogs, but both your dogs are blind? Do you think they're going to run straight with you?
Yes.
You think they will?
You're wasting
Yeah,
your time with Nick. Let him finish.
Yeah, I'm just saying they were. You know, I'm surprised you couldn't see that. No one was pressing.
Well, they run like headless people. They don't think about where they're moving. They don't think about position.
All
Whereas
3 of them.
Mount
Johnny,
thinks
it's not
about his
just-
positional
Mount's are one of my
location
favourite
on the
players.
pitch, bro. You know what I'm
Today,
saying?
bro. Like he was
Yeah,
just
wait a
with
minute, Casper.
Reece all the time.
Let me finish my point. I'm just saying, if we pressed like we usually do, we would have won this game. But you know, Mount is one of our best players. I know. I
Well,
like
he's
to
our best player,
wind you up sometimes, but he is one of our best players.
He is our
But,
best player. Yeah.
but today
Oh,
he
so maybe
wasn't.
screw my content.
Today that we did another. The only good players we had, like I said, was County Silva, Kovac when he came on, and who else? No one else really.
Yeah.
No, Mount
I
was
hear
right
you.
up there, mate.
I hear you.
Absolutely
Just
right
quickly, guys, we've got a comment here from Suzuki. He says, should we question Tuchel's tactics? I don't think so, because we were very limited. I think we only had 4 people on the bench. 2 of them were goalies.
Do you know what
No,
I question? I question this
question
panel
too.
right now, bruv. That's what I question,
I would
bruv.
question Tuchel.
I question
Listen,
this
Tuchel
panel,
is
bruv.
listen. Tuchel is fucked up today. Like, what is he doing? What is he doing on the right side? Like, it's like you've got a ball sack, but it just has 1 testicle. Like, what are you doing? Like, you've got like a proper
That's
team.
what.
Is that like Timo? He keeps firing blanks, bruv.
This is
It's
nonsense.
like, you know what? You're playing with compact formation, like you need to do possession-based football that goes from the midfield, and he's asking Reece James and Mount to do David Moyes kind of a football from the right side. What the fuck, bro? What is going on with you, bro?
Oh, God.
Why are they giving 15 crosses to Pulisic? What's the point with that?
So class F, what would you have done differently?
Do you know why? Because they thought they were watching Lord of the Rings, bruv. That's why.
Why are they not playing in the middle? Like, why are they not doing 1 and 2 in the middle? Why is
Anyway,
Mason Mount and Mason Mount cross the ball into the fucking?
They thought they were in the
door?
Hobbit, bruv. The Hobbit film. You know the Hobbit, bruv? Remember
Bro,
that?
like, I don't know,
Yeah, there you
like
go, bruv.
Tuchel. Maybe Tuchel. I don't know what's wrong with Tuchel, bro.
yeah. I don't know either. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So how was Mendy that game as well? You know, again,
He did
playing,
nothing.
clean sheet again,
He
nothing to
saved
do.
the header. What are you talking about?
Mendy could have had a cup of tea and a
Yeah,
sandwich,
you're right.
mate.
He didn't have much to do anyway. It was only that save that he made from a header.
He came in off his line a lot more than normal,
Yeah.
which is good to see. He's
Anyone
confident with
trying
his
to
feet.
question Tuchel's tactics or wondering why he hasn't changed formation is like asking him to bake a cake with flour, eggs, and milk.
What?
He did change formation.
He did. He did a back four, and then Mount went up to him saying,
Those guys were lost.
What's our role, bruv? What
He
are
went
we
to
doing here?
Did he go to a 3-5-2? You think
Well,
he did?
the
didn't he,
formation
eventually?
always
No.
changes, though. It's never
No.
But he
consistent.
did
went to a
because Mount
4-2-3-1.
and Pulisic were playing next to each other up front. If I'm
Yeah,
right.
they swapped at the second half.
They did. I'm sure they did.
Has
Which is the
Tuchel got
right
a
thing.
problem?
He needed to
I-
play.
So,
I-
Daniel, you
I-
think he
I-
changed the system? What system did he change, Daniel?
Yeah,
Formation.
exactly.
Oh,
Okay,
did he play?
formation. What?
Did he play
what
Ten Hag
formation?
system? Was it Ten Hag, bruv? Are we getting ready for Ten Hag, Daniel?
Well, he better start playing 10 Hag system.
No, seriously, Daniel.
He's
Tell me
killing-
what formation
He's
did he
killing
change?
me, this guy. He's
He
killing
played
me,
Reece
man.
James. He played Reece James as a right winger. He made him push all the way up
Daniel,
and played him
man.
as a right winger. So he was one of the attacking three. So it was three behind Pulisic. That's what I saw, and that's why there was
Yeah, but
massive space.
I
Daniel,
think
then
he was
why
just
Mount
getting
was
cut up.
also on the
I
right
think he
side?
was just getting cut up on the field.
That's why.
That's
No,
all.
he wasn't. He stayed there the entire time. It was clearly an instruction to go to a back four.
Yeah, it was back four. He
He was
was.
playing as a right
You
winger.
know-
He wasn't playing as a
Oh,
because there was
That's
no point
why.
at
That's
that
why
point.
Mount went to Tuchel on the
And
touchline,
Aspie kept
asking
playing.
where are we
Aspie
supposed
would
to
not
be.
move out to play as a right back. That's why he and Tuchel were arguing. That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah,
But
it's
they were
jokes.
arguing.
listen,
Because
Daniel.
Tuchel
If,
kept telling him,
Mount's got the
"You can't
minerals.
do
He
it."
knows. He knows,
Why is he
bruv.
asking
He
Tuchel?
knows.
Such an idiot, man.
if Tuchel has got a problem,
He knows the game, bruv.
has
I just found that funny because they were yelling at each other.
and say I need players. Why is he taking out a team? Like whenever Havertz and Werner are not playing, he's giving us a weaker tactics. He's giving us a weaker system.
I
I've
want his
seen when
space though.
listen when Havertz doesn't play, he makes the system weaker.
He couldn't play him. You fucking. What are you talking about? He had no choice, bruv.
Listen, if
He
he
had no
needs
There
to
are
go,
no
he should
other
call,
attackers on the
call
bench.
Marina. I need
Kai
more
Havertz
players. Why
wasn't
is he taking out
available,
on the
bruv.
fucking team?
Otherwise, he would have played Klasrev.
Why is
Let's
the
have it right. Why
complaining
are
about?
you saying
What
that?
are you
Complaining
doing,
about
man?
It's not
nothing.
like it's not
We
like
had
Tuchel went.
COVID.
Tuchel didn't have
Bettinelli
everyone at
Bettinelli
his
false
disposal
nine,
and
bro.
goes, "Oh, I'm only going to play Pulisic false nine when I got Kai Havertz and I got Lukaku." Is he? He's not going to do that.
Listen. We have seen
Come
Tuchel.
on.
Tuchel can do a
Let's
lot
not be
more
silly,
than
bruv.
what he's doing in last 6-7 games. I think he has issues. He's not putting his best team out there. He's not putting his
That's
best
the only team
system
he
out there.
has.
And I think his system his system before was Rudiger makes the run. He's the one who's going to attack. Now he's doing with Reece James. I don't know what he's trying to prove.
What
If
are
he
you
needs
talking
just give a
about,
fucking call to
bruv?
No,
Robert
no,
Abramovich.
no,
Rudiger
Why
can't
not?
push up without
Legend.
trouble like that. Rudiger has to cover Alonso's runs.
How can you rely on Rudiger, bruv, when you got Reece James who's far more equipped to go forward, bruv?
I get it. I get it. Reece James is a better attacker, but I'm
Plus,
saying in
honestly,
the
I
system
don't think
we
you even
play,
watched the game.
in
To
the
be honest,
system we play,
I don't think he watched
when
the game.
Rudiger
I think
attacks,
I don't think he
tell
did,
me
actually.
tell me what happened with Reece James once Priori came on.
They're on the opposite sides of the fucking pitch.
No, they were
Anyway,
not.
before I miss this comment, is the title
Did
race
you watch
over
the game?
because it feels like it, is what Suzuki's saying. No,
I
really,
think Tuchel is
We
giving
still
away
got
the
hope.
title.
Game is Sasuke. That's how you pronounce it.
You think the title race is over? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? You think the
Hassan,
title
what you
race?
say, man? Hassan, you ain't spoke yet. Go on, Hassan. What
Nah,
you
it's
saying?
not over, bruv.
I couldn't speak because of all the
You know what
debate.
it's like.
Yeah, but
Fight.
You can lose a title when you're not in it.
listen, right. All I'm going to say is I'm not going to give Mount rating because I don't want to go into this massive debate again. But all I'm going to say that we have been poor, and to be honest, when I saw the lineup, it didn't surprise me that we probably going to draw today, if not nick a one-goal game. We all know how tough Wolves are, and My God, man, what a boring game that was. But I don't know what's gonna happen with our other games. Are they cancelled? Like the fixtures against Villa, is that cancelled?
Well, we
That
don't
always
know yet.
busts my balls. It's fucking annoying hindrance, bruv.
Who?
Oh, I can't be asked for it, bruv. I got an itch right now. I'm scratching my bollocks right now, mate.
Oh my
Sorry, Hassan, bruv. Sorry,
What the
Hassan.
fuck
Carry
is
on,
going on
bruv.
about?
It's not you,
says
bruv.
that,
It's
bro?
not you, bruv. I got a major itch in my
Yeah,
left
why you gotta
bollock,
tell
bruv.
us that? What the fuck? That's a separate
What
fucking
the
shit.
It's people just hindering me, bruv. I just can't, bruv. It's a major itch.
You should check your missus. Maybe she's going on the run.
Oh,
Yeah, respect the
Maybe
lady,
you-
bro.
It's a Mason
Call
Mount
me some
underwear,
man.
bro. It's a
That's
Mason Mount
STD, man.
underwear.
That's
Call me
STD,
some
It's a
man.
John.
Mason Mount
Sorry, out,
underwear,
Johnny.
bro. Like,
Guys, simple question. Can Chelsea still win the title? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
No
Yes,
chance.
yes.
Very hard.
Yes, we can.
I
But we
question
made it very
Tuchel. I
difficult.
question Tuchel, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I question Tuchel.
Alright,
He
anyway,
is
yeah. Alright.
under-delivering
Who has to
himself.
yes? Who has to yes?
He has a
You wanna
point to
wanna
make.
get Ten
Yes or
Hag?
no
bro.
answer. Yes or no
You wanna
answer.
get Ten Hag?
Listen, he
Yo,
has a
Clasriff,
what's
point
wrong
to
with
make.
bro?
Clasriff, if you don't like
What's wrong
Tuchel,
with you?
who is it you want, mate? Who do you want to come in?
I don't dislike Tuchel.
Oh,
I'm
he
just
wants
saying that
Joking Love, doesn't he?
he's not giving his best for last 6-7 games.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying.
Because some of the players
What do you want to
COVID.
do?
Oh, Class, what makes you think he's not giving his best? What is his best, and what is
What is
different
his
to
best,
now? Is it the
His
result?
best is like when when he has shit players, we win the game.
Mm.
What?
But now he's
When he has
all
shit
the
players, he wins the games. What does that mean?
So I
Yeah,
think
I
it
agree.
was
Anyways, yeah. Who else thinks we're still in the title race?
No, you guys said let him finish, right? Let him finish.
Yeah, bro, like, listen, the debate. Listen, the future debate should not be about Pulisic is crap, Ziyech is crap, Mount is crap. The future debate should be: is Tuchel underperforming?
The future is Timo Werner, player manager.
Okay, so what makes you think he's underperforming?
He's underperforming because in last 6-7 games, the formation he uses, he's not using. He is using the same formation, but the system
You're a
he's
genius,
using is the
Clasriff.
wrong system.
You're a genius,
It's the
bro.
wrong system.
Absolute
He's
genius,
using.
bro.
He's using.
Your
Listen,
football
are
IQ
you?
is unreal, bruv. You should be a pundit
No.
on Sky Sports, bruv. Your
He's
IQ,
using.
your ball
Yeah,
knowledge
He's
is
using the wrong
exceptional, son.
system.
Exceptional.
Let him finish.
He's asking Reece James to go into
Let's have it right.
the middle and into the attack, and Mason Mount is also sitting with Reece James on the same side. He's having a laugh.
Yeah,
You
they were
guys
sitting having a
are
cup of
so
tea, weren't they? Yeah.
You guys can't see it. I
Talk
can
some
see
ball,
it
yeah?
in Tuchel right now. He is listen.
No, I can see it. I can
some
see it,
players.
bro. I can see it.
He needs some
Nick,
players.
you're
who
right.
I
make
think we
the
should do a
goals.
petition for Clasriff to be manager, bruv, of Chelsea.
That's a great idea.
Because I think we'll win the lot, bruv,
We
easily,
gotta start him off with
comfortably.
FIFA Manager, though. We gotta start him off with FIFA Manager.
So how
We will
come
get,
we are losing
we will get relegated.
What
We're
do you
the
say,
Champions
Renee?
League.
1 second, guys.
I'm just watching AC Milan, Napoli.
You're watching
and,
time tick by, yeah? That's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's the Serie A, bruv. Boring as hell, bruv. That's the league we bought Lukaku from, wasn't it?
No, I just saw what's his face.
Hey, no shots, Johnny. No
Tamori,
shots.
Tamori.
Lakobom, Tamori making
No
it.
Let's have it right. Let's have it right, bruv.
He's
Now
got
I'm
the
gonna.
people
It's
like
a
world-class
halftime. It's a
striker.
halftime. Hazard. I want to see Hazard coming back in a couple of weeks. So I just want to see how Real Madrid.
Bro, Hazard plays for Real Madrid, not for AC Milan.
Yo, we have a kit man though. Why do we need Hazard for?
So Mount will have a better force and up front with.
We have a kit man. He's not. We
No,
don't
no,
have
no.
Mount with Hazard and either Lukaku or Kai, that would be superb. But I think
I'm just
Timo
joking.
Werner gets relegated to the
Bring him
bench,
back.
bro.
Bring him back. I'm on board. I'm on board, man.
Bro, you guys are not understanding how serious this is. Like, what is Tuchel doing? Like, please stop.
I'll tell you what he's doing. He's doing a remarkable job right now. Absolutely remarkable job. He's doing a fantastic job right now with the
Listen,
injuries,
we were on
COVID,
top of the
problems
league.
we got. You know
We
what
were
I'm
top
saying?
of the league. We were top of the league, 4 points clear, and now we are on the third.
Yeah, we
Because
had
of,
injuries.
because of the
We had
virus,
injuries.
Yeah, we do have a
What can we
thing called injuries,
do?
bruv. We do have a thing called injuries where players can't play, bruv.
That's if you go play for them.
Did you guys bring back? Sorry.
What the?
Sorry,
I'll bring back
Wow.
Super Frank after Tukey, bruv.
Oh,
Bring
yeah,
back
yeah,
Super Frank, bruv.
All right, thank you.
That
Now
part,
tell me
yeah.
we can move on from Clash Rap. Can we
We'll
talk about any other players?
We'll bring back Super Frank, bruv. If
Oh, that
Tuchel gets us
Classic
in.
and Frank.
What
we'll
was your
bring
thoughts on
Costa,
Sam
we'll
Niguez's
bring
performance today?
Oscar, we'll bring 2017. Everybody, right, Daniel? That would make
I think Saul Niguez should be selling tapas on the streets of Spain. That's what I think.
What about his performance today, though?
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad
He was
today.
bad.
Like,
He was
he wasn't that bad today.
Finally,
He
we
was
can
bad.
agree on Cluster.
Let me talk, man.
That wasn't bad.
You know what I think though? I think he was very safe, but that's better than losing the ball.
He was bad.
Yeah. Every pass he had was to Thiago Silva. So I don't know what was good about that to you guys, but that wasn't good to me.
Come on, he passed it to the wide better than Jennifer did it all the time. Those long passes on the
Listen,
side.
we know,
No, don't disrespect Jorginho like that, Alex.
We know you
bruv.
hate
Have a bit of
Jorginho.
respect
I don't like
for our
Jorginho either,
number
but there's
3
no way
Ballon
you can
d'Or.
tell me this
You know
guy
what I'm
Saul
saying?
was bad.
was better than
I'm
Jorginho.
not saying he's better than Jorginho. I'm saying if you're gonna say that he only passed it to Thiago Silva, you're full of shit.
That's fine. You feel that
In my
way.
opinion, although
But he
in my
only
opinion,
passed it to Thiago Silva. I'm not gonna give him a prop. He's a bum.
No, he didn't pass. He passed it to Alonso. He passed it long balls on the side.
Oh yeah,
What?
whoa, Alonso.
because he's
Now,
his friend. That's
Saul
why.
had his
What does that
special
mean? Like
powers.
That's
he
why.
turned. I saw him turn away from passing the ball out wide to the right to Reece James about 3-4 times, and he went to the safe option, Thiago Silva.
Yeah, he had to play with Mount on the right. That's why.
Yeah, that sounds good. He still sucks.
Yeah, it was his first game
He
as a
sucks. I
second
don't disagree
midfielder.
with
Give
you,
him a
but
break, bro.
you were saying like all praising Mount for pressing and all this kind of shit, but all
Well,
of a sudden you slam
who else
the
presses,
guy.
Alex? Who else
We did
presses
another
in our
game.
What
side?
person was Saul doing?
Kante.
He was
The
just
only reason
passing
the only
normally.
reason Saul had a
Daniel, keep
decent
it in, man. You know, Saul
let's have
played
it right,
better.
yeah. No, the only reason
No,
Saul
he
played
didn't.
better
Don't try
is
to
because he
take
didn't
my.
get pressed,
You can
bruv.
feel however you want to feel.
He never got pressed in this game. Saul. That's
Whatever.
why he looked like he was all right. The
Sounds
moment
like
he gets
He was
pressed,
okay. He was
his best
okay.
game today for
Sounds like
us.
Jorginho.
No
Doesn't
lie.
get pressed. He moves the
But he
ball
was
around,
okay,
you know.
man.
And
If
that's
someone
if that's
gets in
the
front of
standard
him,
you
no,
guys want,
Jorginho's
then
Jorginho's positional IQ is much higher than Saul.
yeah, I
Bro,
agree.
like,
You
bro,
can't put
Pulisic,
Jorginho with Saul,
Pulisic,
man.
listen,
You
Pulisic
can't
is a
compare him. Yeah, you
professional.
can't compare him.
Pulisic is a professional footballer, but that smooth pass Alonso made, he should have just made one touch and shot. The way he complicated it. I think that was semi-pro.
He moved the ball
That
away,
wasn't
bruv.
professional.
He moved the ball
That
away,
wasn't
didn't he?
professional from Pulisic. He should have just
It's
made
so
one
sad,
touch
bruv.
and
It
shot.
really is sad, isn't it?
What is happening, bro?
Timo, poor Timo, bruv. Keeps missing,
Bro,
bruv.
like,
Yeah,
listen
I
to
can hear it.
some
Sad to see Lukaku.
Guys,
Sad to see
we
Lukaku.
don't know about the copyright here.
Oh yeah, copyright. Yeah.
You
I
need to
agree.
get a professional violinist, bruv, just to play live, bruv. You know what I mean?
I
That
agree.
way
Saul
you're
was-
covered.
Anyway, Sasuke is his name. Sasuke. Sorry, mate. I'm saying it right. Did you guys see Alonso's defending that cross? I saw Alonso trying to run after a ball when he was closer to it than the other guy, which was like 30 yards away, and then give a fucking throw in.
He'll
He gets spoiled, bro. He gets spoiled.
he was literally running away from the player. What
I
the
didn't realize he was that slow. For fuck's sake!
Oh,
No.
crying out loud,
I think-
bruv.
Too old, bro.
It's not there. What do you mean he's too old, man?
It's just
He's
painful
younger.
to watch. A
He's
tortoise
younger
was
than Aspilicueta, man.
Oh,
This-
mate, he's
he
so
sees
bad.
the ball coming towards
He's
him.
so bad.
He running away opposite direction.
Oh man, Alonso's got the minerals, bruv. Just not
No, he ain't.
permanently.
Don't even,
It's
you
just
put-
not
if Mount-
consistent,
wait,
bruv.
You're putting a Mount and Alonso in the same bracket.
Oh,
Minerals.
my word.
Is that what you're saying? Right?
No, I'm saying sometimes he brings the minerals, like when he plays Spurs and that, he
Giroud's
brings the
coming
minerals, bruv.
on.
You know what I'm
Man, I
saying?
wish we had
Like-
Giroud.
He's lacking minerals. He is. Don't worry about that. He's
My
he's
opinion.
His
I
mineral
wish we
intake
had
is
Olivier Giroud.
is dire straits right now. bruv.
He
We
needs to
need
get some
Olivier
more.
Giroud now.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do, bruv? He can't press. He can't move.
Who?
Olivier Giroud, bruv. Why does he want
Well,
Olivier Giroud?
Mount attempted crosses in the box.
Oh,
would have
for this
been
game,
better.
yeah. This game
Yeah,
needed a
that's it.
Lukaku
That's
or a
what he
Kai.
done.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, he couldn't even cross it to the box because they hit the front of the first
but
defender. all
Alex,
the
we
time.
can't bring back players just for one game and then send them back to Serie A.
You're
Bro.
right. Well, I mean, if he would have been here today, if he would have played in Wolves game today, you're right. The crosses still
Him
never
or
reached.
Lukaku or Kai. They
No,
would
I'm
have
saying
headed
like
it.
they didn't even reach the target. They hit
Just
the
quick
first
question:
defender.
how many crosses does Ziyech make?
I don't know,
Ziyech,
but
Ziyech
Mount,
is
Ziyech
fantastic.
but
was
Ziyech
Mount,
is
Mount
great.
well.
the
See,
Mount
Redneck,
ones,
Ziyech
Redneck,
was
stop
so
switching. That's not what I asked you.
but the
I asked
Mount,
you a
he was
simple question.
recovering.
You
He
should
was
know
Yeah,
that he
Ziyech,
can't.
I know you're
He can't
upset
Ziyech,
with Mount, but I asked you
Ziyech is
about
a
Ziyech.
wonderful
Ziyech
cross
I
on
know
the
was
you're
you're a
ball.
desperate Mount,
deflection.
but I asked
Oh,
you about
God.
It
Ziyech.
wasn't
You
Ziyech,
Ziyech
deflection.
fault.
Ziyech
You
can't
deflecting
cross.
on
No,
purpose, and
you're
you know.
deflecting. I asked you
Right.
about Ziyech.
No, you did
Why
the
should he
question on
cross
I
it? It
did. I
wasn't.
said, what? How many crosses did Ziyech make today?
I don't
You
know
shouldn't
because
have
I was
made any
talking about
I
crosses.
think he
Mount.
done two.
There was no
Yeah,
point
Guys,
of
1
making
second.
crosses.
We got an exclusive. I say exclusive. It's on Athletic UK. Premier League clubs will discuss at Monday's emergency meeting whether
yeah,
to postpone
convenient
a
that.
round of festive matches due to the COVID-19 situation.
Anyway,
Game week
boys,
20,
I'm out.
which is the
Why did
28th.
did
See you
Salah
tomorrow,
get sick
Daniel.
or something?
Daniel, I'll see you later, bro.
Did Salah
Hammy
get
players
sick or
well,
something?
yeah. There you go.
In my
There you
The
go.
opinion,
minute
I saw that Ziyech sometimes he can't cross in his right foot or like shoot the goal
Well,
or something.
Ziyech, like I said to you, he's a
His right
Houdini,
foot
bruv.
is not existing. Like
Ziyech
he
is
don't
just a
have right
ghost,
foot.
man.
Yeah, he's a Houdini himself, bro.
I think
Donna, what
Ziyech
do you
had an
think about
amazing game
Tuchel?
today.
Is what we got to
Listen,
donate.
when Ziyech got subbed, you could see how frustrated all of the
You're
you
muted,
know
Connor. I can't hear you.
the court system, the coaching, all of the coaches were
Mic's not
really
working.
upset that Ziyech got injured. I think he
He's
was
not
doing really
injured.
good.
He's not that injured. He said Tuchel
Can't hear you,
himself.
Connor. You're gone.
Bro, Ziyech was injured.
there's
So I
rumors
could
that
see how
Chalobah is
disappointed the
injured
coach
again.
were
Trying to talk?
when Ziyech got injured.
Can you hear
I
me?
mean, if Ziyech
Yeah,
would
yeah, I
have
can
stayed
hear you
like
now. Yeah.
10 and
What do
20
I think
minutes
about
more,
Tuchel? I
Yes.
think that whoever Saskia Chia is, I think that he's still on the same level as Pep and Klopp. I think that he's trying to. I mean, you got to really think about it, right? Like, I know that there's banter aside, if we're really talking football, right? Like, all banter aside, this guy has had one of the best left backs in the league go out for possibly the whole season. He's had almost every attacker go down with an injury. We've had COVID. He's
Midfield,
had more.
midfield.
Yeah. Oh my God. More injuries in the midfield than you can imagine. A more congested fixture list than any team in the Premier League with the Club World Cup and all that.
And you're only 6 points
And
behind.
he only had one person. Listen, and this is not an excuse, but we just have to be realistic here. Of all he's been here past a year now, and he's only had Lukaku brought in for him. Salah was not a Tuchel signing. So
It
he's only
is.
had, He's only had
He is a
Lukaku.
Tuchel signing.
No, he's not.
No, it's not.
He was
Yes,
scouted
he
before.
is.
He was scouted before
It's
Tuchel
not.
got here. How?
It's not.
Because
Before
we asked
Chelsea
for him.
board, Chelsea board were looking at him for long time.
Exactly.
So
So along with all these things, I think Tuchel's doing great. I think when he gets a full squad back, I think he's doing the best that he can. I am just a football fan, and I just watch football. Would I have personally started Mount in the false 9 or 9 via Pulisic, and probably had Pulisic play the channels on the wide side with Reece James? Probably yes, but I'm not the coach. I think that with the analysis that they have in every game, pregame, that he's going to put out the lineup, and I'm going to trust it because he has done more with less in a more time crunch scenario, i.e. last season. So I trust him in any scenario. So
That's Connor. And do you know what? After the game, Tuchel said, he said, we knew what it was going to be like to play Wolves. They were going to play very defensive, solid, pack the midfield. And it was going to be a case of, I felt he was very happy with the way we controlled the game, especially in the second half. We were high intensity in the first 10 minutes. And then we slipped off, yeah? Hold on.
60
seconds. Second half, we had more possession, and he expected it to be a 1 or 2 chance game, and we weren't clinical enough. And that is exactly what he said, but he was happy.
I just want to say that.
Guys, go on. We're going to finish in a second.
I just want to say that Chelsea the Chelsea board should think about Tuchel a lot more, because in this transfer window for January and summer, he should buy players that he wants to make our squad.
Bruv, we've been saying, I said this all summer, bruv. He's never been backed. The board will not back him. They will not back him. I'm telling you now, they're not going to back him, bruv.
This is going to ask you the one last question. We're going to finish off because we're over 2 hours. What's the one main lesson from this bad spell we've had?
Number one lesson from this bad spell, in my opinion, is we can never go into a season with two 30-plus-year-old secondary wingbacks ever again.
As backup.
It's not even that. Just back
No.
your manager, bruv. I mean, the manager that's won you Champions League. You can see that he's absolutely levels above any manager we've had since Jose Mourinho and Ancelotti. All right, he's of that etiquette. He's evolved in he's a new gen manager from that period. So he's well on par, if not exceeded, Pep Guardiola and Klopp. Listen, Pep Guardiola and Klopp, especially Guardiola, spent a shitload of money. He's been at the club for 6 years or whatever. Klopp has and been backed. Every signing he wants is him.
Yeah.
He's asked for it. And then Klopp, again, maybe not been backed financially as much, but he gets the players he wants. And he's had a team for 5 years. Tuchel's come in, bruv. All right.
Not even a year.
Hold on. Tuchel's come in for 4.5 months with a squad that's not his and won the Champions League. And our fucking board ain't going to back him, bruv. Explain
expect
to
him
me.
to win the Premier League.
Lukaku was not a Tuchel signing.
None of them are Tuchel signings, bro.
No, I think
Kunde was the one that the Tuchel wants, because at that time Chelsea didn't want to buy the money that Sevilla wants to pay.
Listen, I've landed absolute minerals there. That is how it is. And I'll tell you what, this manager's going to go. This manager's going to go and win the league for Chelsea. And I'm telling you now, if we get a postponement this year, if we get a postponement,
I doubt it.
Hold on. If we get a postponement for the COVID, we'll have all our players back. Tuchel can regroup, and we will kick on. And I'll tell you one thing, and let me tell you this: years I've been watching the Premier League, it is a fact that teams have a bad patch. Every team, all the great Man United sides, Fergie side, had bad patches. It doesn't mean they last a 10-game patch. They can last a 2 or 3 game patch. Manchester City ain't had it yet, and Liverpool ain't had it yet. And I'm telling you now, Manchester City will hit a period, and it's going to come during Champions League football. It will. During Champions League football, it will come, a midweek game, Champions League, a big game, and they'll go and play a tough game. They will drop points.
Do you know what it is, Johnny? That's not my problem. It's how far are we behind when they do have that? Because I don't think they will drop loads of points.
I don't think we'll go any further behind, Jem. Because of the
what
break.
I'm saying is we need to stay close to them. Like,
I think the league's unrealistic now.
No, it's not, bruv. It's 6 points. Do you know United, back in the day, United were like 10 points behind, bruv. They went and won the league against Newcastle. I think it was more than 10 points.
It was,
who do they have in their team?
13 points. It doesn't matter, bruv. When you got a good team and a great manager, anything's possible. All right.
Our team's too.
We just need our players back, Johnny. We get everyone back.
We do need our players back. Yeah, I agree. I think
once we get our players back, we're kicking on, bruv. We're going to
win the league. I've said it. I still don't think we're ready for it yet, in my personal opinion.
We should buy new players.
We're still in it. We still have to be one. We're still in there. We just, go get on with this COVID.
Yeah.
We need to get Havertz back. Havertz is so
Havertz was a big miss. Havertz was a big miss today. Yeah, he was.
I'd rather have Ben Chilwell back than Havertz.
Someone clip that, bruv. Clip that, because that was raw minerals, bruv. I just landed there. That was serious.
No, it wasn't like there's some. Listen, there's some issues with your minerals. Can I finish it? I'll tell you why there are some issues with your minerals. The first thing you said, like Tuchel said in the press conference today, like after the game, that it's the other. We knew how it was going to come up. Listen, he's an elite manager. All I know about him is he says all the time before these 6 matches, right? All the time he said, we don't care about the opposition. We believe in our system, right? And now you're telling me he's making an excuse that
Chasrev, last season, Klopp got done by Tuchel at Anfield with a Mount goal. Pep Guardiola got done 3 times, including Champions League final. All right.
Yeah, but
And
we're
he's
not
coming
talking
this
about
season.
past.
Hold
We're
on.
talking
He's
about
coming
now.
this season, bruv.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And he's had
Listen,
a few
you
issues
can
against
blame
City.
players.
All right.
Listen,
And we
listen,
lost.
listen,
But
listen.
against Liverpool, we kept it.
We can
We got
blame
a draw
players.
with 10
Can I
men at Anfield, bruv. Yeah.
Johnny,
So
can
stop
I finish
waffling,
it?
bruv.
Yeah,
Johnny,
Johnny,
can I
let him go.
finish?
Let him go. Because I'm going to finish soon as well.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yeah.
can
I
I
got.
finish?
I got to duck out anyway,
Yeah,
bruv.
yeah. Wait. You can blame
Big up
players when
Johnny.
listen, the manager is doing everything right. But now you're coming up with excuses. Alonso is shit. These players are shit.
Yeah,
You
we should
cannot
sell.
blame players right now because I don't think so. Tuchel's head is on the right place at this moment.
What
Oh
do you
my
mean?
God,
You're
this guy,
waffling.
bruv.
You're waffling.
This guy, bruv.
Anyway, people, on that
Wait,
note,
let me
I
just
am
finish.
going
Let
to
me just
finish
finish.
the
Let me
show
just
tonight.
finish.
Big up to everyone in the chat. Over 150 of you here. It was massive. Thank you very much for doing so. Make sure you get this up to 100
Big
likes.
up.
So make sure you hit the like button before you leave.
Up the
Johnny
Chels.
Minerals, big up to you. Connor, big up to you. Class Rev, Nick Blue, W, Football
Big
Star.
up, lads. Up the Chelsea, up Minerals FC.
Up
I'm
the
ducking
Chelsea.
out.
We
Come
might have a
on.
bit of a postponement, which means we might not have a match
MM
reaction
Hive.
for a little
Big
while.
up,
But
lads.
that
I've got
might
to go.
serve in
Johnny.
Chelsea's favour.
Big
So
up.
big up to everyone,
Money.
and we'll talk in a bit. Peace out. Take care, guys.
Peace.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Peace.
Up
Bye,
the
bye.
Chels.
Money.